Notre Dame Stadium sold out for the 150th consecutive time as the Texas A&M Aggies meet the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Game day at Notre Dame, the most enduring pageant in college football. It's the season opener, the time when even lofty expectations seem attainable, when hopes of glory fill the air. This opener matches one of college football's winningest active coaches, R.C. Slocum of Texas A&M, against Notre Dame's embattled Bob Davie. Two men who forged a lasting friendship during 9 years together on the Aggie sideline. A personal bond only temporarily put aside for today's game. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Notre Dame. Tom Hammond and Pat Hayden, ready for the season's opener. An exciting time for fans, Pat, but I guess a scary time for the coaches.
Well, you know, I love opening day. It's my favorite day of college football. But for coaches, it's the most difficult game for which they prepare because there's so many unexpected things that happen. You know, you worry about having prepared your team for everything. You know, 25% of your team is new. And I don't think players or coaches are ready for the pace and the frenzy of an opening game. And Tom, to me, as I've watched opening games over the years, I think unusual things happen, and special teams, block kicks, returns, play a larger role in the opening game than any other.
And as we know, coaches are worriers anyway, right?
Yeah.
The two teams come to this opener with similar situations at quarterback.
Yeah, neither quarterback has started a game, and Arnaz Battle for Notre Dame will get center stage for the Irish. Now, he played the shadow of Jarius Jackson the past 2 years. What we do know about Arnaz Battle is he is a very good runner, a 74-yard run for a touchdown in last year's opener. But what we don't know about Arnaz Battle is how accomplished a passer he is. That is critical for the Irish today and this season. Now, for Texas A&M, they'll start 25-year-old Mark Ferris. Now, he's 25 years old because he spent 5 years in the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball organization, a guy that they gave the starting job. R.C. Slocum gave him the starting job because he said he gives us the most maturity. But R.C. did say, hey, we'll probably see all three A&M quarterbacks.
All right, a couple of moments ago, the Irish took the field through a tunnel composed of over 250 former Notre Dame players. Texas A&M making its first trip ever to Notre Dame Stadium, facing an Irish squad that includes 19 players from the state of Texas. We'll be back for the opening kickoff after these messages from your local station. Over 80,000 at Notre Dame Stadium for Texas A&M and Notre Dame. And let's check on the sideline now with Jim Gray. Jim, you keeping cool down there. It's 82 degrees and going to get a little hotter. And there you have the head coach, the embattled Bob Davie.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, it is warm down here. The thermometer says it's about 102 degrees down here. Don't know if that'll have any effect. But let me ask you, Coach, you guys have a very difficult schedule here in the beginning of the year. Does that put more pressure on the opening game?
I tell you what, you can only play one game at a time, Jim. We've looked forward to this game for a long, long time. So I just want to go tee this thing up, see what happens. I can tell you this, I love this football team we have. I love the potential of this team. So let's put that ball on the tee. Let's kick this sucker off and see what happens.
Arnaz Battle gets his first start today. How would you assess where he is?
We're going to find out shortly. Doesn't matter what I think. We're going to know for sure. But we've been tremendously pleased with him. I know he's excited, and our football team's excited about him.
Bob, good luck. Thank
you, Jim. Let's enjoy it.
All right, upstairs to you, Tom.
All right, Jim, and we are set to enjoy it. The Aggies won the toss, deferred, so Notre Dame chooses the ball. And Cody Skates is set to kick off for the Aggies with Driver and Givens, the deep men for Notre Dame, who have, of course, an excellent record in their home openers, 67-9-3. This is the 61st different opponent to come to Notre Dame Stadium, and the Irish have beaten the first-time visitors here all but 10 of those times. Skates with the kick and the season underway. Givens picks it up on the bounce, fumbles it, and then grabs it across the 15-yard line to about the 16, where he stopped, and the Irish will set up their offense from there. Mickey Jones on special teams to tackle for A&M. And Arnaz Battle set for his first start. He's played in 11 games prior to this season and gets the first start for the Fighting Irish. Here is the Notre Dame starting lineup. Up front, Black, Jones, Fain, his first start, Gandy, and Vollers. And the backs and receivers battle the quarterback with Fisher, Lopinski, Getherall, Hunter, and Holloway. Holloway, the tight end, resetting to the right side. I formation in the backfield. That's Givens in motion. And the give is to the tailback, Tony Fisher. And Fisher across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Stopped there by Michael Jameson, the free safety who has been injured but gets the start today. They'll see how long he can go. Peroni, Edwards, and Flemons up front. That defensive line really hit by injury in the preseason. With Bradley, Anthony, Gamble, Glenn, his brother Aaron Glenn plays for the New York Jets. Brooks, Davis, Jameson, who goes as long as he can with the Achilles, and Keel. 2nd and 4 from the 23. Blitz by A&M, and it's Fisher, and Fisher crosses the 30 to the 33, and a Notre Dame first down tackle there by Roylin Bradley after a gain of 10.
This is a very good A&M defense. You said they're hurt by injuries, Tom. Indeed, they've lost probably their best defensive down lineman in Rocky Bernard. But it's a defensive team that's based on creating negative plays. You saw a blitz on that last play by A&M. It was picked up 102 stops for negative plays last year by the A&M defense.
Irish on first down. Terrence Howard into the game for the first time. Here's Battle in the shotgun. 4 wide receiver formation. Battle trying to get the corner to the 35, maybe the 36, and run out of bounds by Roylin Bradley, the outside linebacker on that side.
He's just across the 35.
You see some of the speed of Arnaz Battle, and indeed, as we said, he's a very quick runner. He got very good speed, but he's almost 220 pounds. And a little bit like Jarius Jackson before him, can break some tackles. Say he has 4.5 speed, but as well as he's going to run, and they're running this time, the early part of the Irish season will depend on how well Arnaz Battle throws the ball, not runs the ball.
There's what he's done running in his career at Notre Dame. 2nd and 7. Split backs now. Fisher lining up in a wing on the right side. Lipinski remains in the backfield. Here's Fisher in motion. It's Lipinski with the carry. Only a couple of yards, hit hard by Cornelius Anthony, the senior linebacker from Missouri City, Texas, who was the number 2 tackler for the Aggies the last 2 years.
Well, do the Aggies have some good linebackers, Tom? You mentioned Cornelius Anthony inside, Brian Gamble, but the 2 outside linebackers in particular, Jason Glenn and Roylin Bradley, boy, they are tough on downs like this. 3rd and about 6 yards. These outside linebackers, number 3 and number 23, are awfully good in this situation.
Well, Jason Glenn, one of the stars, and we'll see if that wrecking Crew defense comes after Arnaz Battle on 3rd and long. Battle trying to scramble free and is sacked. Fumbled the football, but it was after the whistle. The ball will be down, no fumble. Roylin Bradley was all over Arnaz Battle before he could even set up to pass.
Yeah, they're outside linebackers we were just talking about, but on passing downs, they end up being defensive ends. They're lined up as defensive ends. Bradley comes to the backside, hand on the ground. It can just kind of beats Jordan Black on the inside, the left tackle of the Irish, creates the sack.
Well, the punt pressure unit, Sean Slocum, R.C. Slocum's son, is the special teams coach. See if they put pressure on Joey Hillbold, the Irish punter.
First game, these are the kind of plays, the snaps, the kicks, the protection you're most worried about.
Taylor and Jones deep for the Aggies. Hillbold gets it away. Taken by Taylor, or Jones it is, and it's Jones to the 45-yard line of Texas A&M, a 14-yard return after Hillbold's punt covered 37 yards. So good field position for Mark Ferris, making his first A&M start. As Pat said in the open, 25 years old. He was a first-round draft choice of the Pittsburgh Pirates, got an $820,000 signing bonus, gave up his minor league baseball career after 5 yards to return to football. Here's his first snap as a starter. Tight formation. In motion, Goins, one of the 3 wide receivers. Fake it to Goins. Ferris rolls, delivers, and it's dropped. Intended for the tight end, Lonnie Madison, or Broughton it was, who could not hold on. Rocky Boyman was defending. A&M starts with McCauley, Valletta, McKinney, Whitley, and Mahan up front. With Ferris, Whitaker, and Toombs, the running backs. Taylor, Ferguson, the tight end, Broughton, who just dropped the first Aggie pass of the game. So Ferris making his first start since he was a high school player in 1993 from Angleton, Texas, not that far from College Station. Here's the pitch to the tailback, Whitaker, cuts up, stops short of midfield after a gain of about 4 yards. As Ron Israel came up from the strong safety spot. Notre Dame with Weaver, Wisney, Legree, and Irons up front. Irons from the Woodlands, Texas, one of 19 Texans on the Irish team. Boyman, Harrison, Denman, with Williams, Walton, Driver, and Israel. Brock Williams returning to the team after sitting out all last season with a suspension and expected to be one of the leaders of the Irish defense. It's 3rd and 5 for A&M as we look at Brock Williams. From the gun. Ferris, under pressure, throws it short of his intended receiver. Mickey Jones was there, but Clifford Jefferson was putting on the pressure.
And that's the key thing, the pressure on the A&M quarterback. Notre Dame last year put very little pressure on the quarterback. That's why they gave up 21 touchdown passes. One of the key things Bob Davie wants to do with his defense this year is get those down linemen in particular in the quarterback's face.
So Cody Skates will punt for the first time for A&M. Joey Gatherall, the punt returner for the Irish. No pressure on Skates, end over end. Gatherall takes it at about the 14, immediately hit. Great special teams play by Sammy Davis, who was down right on top of Gatherall just as soon as he made the catch. 0 yards return after the punt covered 37. Joey Gatherall gets a rude welcome to the game. Irish football when we return to Notre Dame. Statue of legendary coach Frank Leahy outside Notre Dame Stadium. One of Leahy's boys, George Connor, won the Outland Trophy and was made a presentation of the trophy from, what, the 1947 season?
Yeah, right.
46 season.
Outland,
and won it, they just gave him a plaque at the time. He got the real trophy today. Now, Arnaz Battle back on the field for the second time. How do you assess the two quarterbacks in their first possession?
Well, again, we still haven't seen Arnaz throw the ball yet, and I really believe that is the key to this Irish season. We know he's a good runner. He's got a good offensive line, good talented wide receivers. Get the ball those wide receivers' hands and let them run. Very talented.
Irish backed up, starting inside the 20 for the second straight time as Julius Jones, his first carry, gets about 9 yards before he's stopped by Terrence Keel, the strong safety. Gain of 9, and the first handle by the touted Julius Jones is an impressive one.
Yeah, you know, Tom, if there is one player that is really exciting on this Irish team, it is sophomore Julius Jones. Great freshman year a year ago, almost 1,300 all-purpose yards. He's got great speed. He can go the distance on the corner. He's trying to get a little tougher inside running tackle to tackle. But Julius Jones has a chance of having a great year. Great kick return year last year. Only Tim Brown returned more kickoffs for yardage than he.
Close to the first down, and the measurement says it is an Irish first down. The all Big 12 officiating crew here today, so the Irish get 10 and a first down on the run by Jones, whose brother Thomas, the former Virginia All-American, is at the Meadowlands as the Arizona Cardinals face the New York Giants tomorrow.
I was told he broke all of Thomas Jefferson's records at UVA. He did everything.
That's difficult
that is
to do.
Good, yeah.
There's a look at Julius, who had a 10-yard run on his first carry of the season. Lopinski and Jones with Givens in motion. Again, it's Jones bouncing to the outside and caught from behind at the 25-yard line by Jason Glenn, who also has a brother in the NFL.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn playing for the Jets, and we were talking to Jason earlier this week. We were in College Station. He said, "Where'd you get your speed?" He said, "Well, me and my brother Aaron, we used to race home from the barbershop after we got our haircut." But, you know, he also said his little sister Makita was actually the fastest athlete in the family and the best athlete in the family.
I liked it when he said, "I can sell anybody anything," and I believe him after listening to him.
He could. He's got a big personality, both on the field and off.
He lit up the room as we talked to him in College Station.
He's right up there.
2nd and 7. Battle with the option. Keeps and has a first down just short of the 35-yard line. Cornelius Anthony making the stop for the Aggies.
You know, the option play, really, you see some awkward things. You see defensive players running away from the ball. And at that time, Jason Glenn had pitch responsibility, so he ran away from the quarterback. But it was a real good block by David Givens, the wide receiver from Texas, that really set that play up in the first down.
Kevin Rogers, offensive coordinator, is planning to mix things up a little bit, but as usual, first priority is to run the football. They do it successfully there.
Got about 120 plays on there in that sheet in front of them.
Givens again, the motion man. Hand off to the tailback Jones, and this time the A&M defense ready for him. Ron Edwards from the nose tackle spot leading the Aggie charge, the senior from Houston, making his 27th straight start today.
Yeah, that's a good matchup, Thomas. Ron Edwards, the nose tackle for A&M, and Jeff Fain, who gets his very first start, although highly thought of by the Notre Dame coaches, is Jeff Fain. But he and Ron Edwards, that's going to be a pretty good battle all day long.
See some other scores on this first full weekend of college football in the 2000 season. 2nd and 8 for the Irish from their own 36-yard line. Scoreless first quarter at Notre Dame. Play action fake, battle, pass off target intended for Tom Lipinski as fullback.
Well, we've seen something unusual thus far from Notre Dame. I mean, compared to last year. Last year, the fullbacks carried the ball 4 times a game. We've seen 1 run to the fullback already, and we've seen 1 pass to the fullback already. Something the Irish did not use the fullback position much last year. This year, they've got Lipinski, Mike McNair, who's got all kinds of expectations on him, and Jason Murray, a good blocker. So 3 different fullbacks for the Irish.
The Irish coming off a 5-win season a year ago and not ranked in the preseason rankings. Unusual for them. A big contest here against A&M. They moved the football and picking up the blitz. Battles pass on target to O'Leary, but the tight end tripped up short of first down yardage by Jason Glenn.
Good pickup, but a particularly good tackle by Jason Glenn. And sometimes when you throw a ball 3rd down short of the flag sticks, you hope your wide receiver or your tight end is going to run those extra 2 or 3 yards to pick up the first down. But when you have a sure-handed tackler like Jason Glenn, number 23, a moment ago he rushed the passer there, he prevents, he forces a punt. That's a heck of a tackle by Jason Glenn.
So he'll bowl for his 2nd punt of the game, and Taylor is deep for A&M. Bold steps up and delivers a booming punt. Takes a sideways bounce, but then into the end zone for the touchback. Punt covered 59 yards. And the Aggies will take over at their 20 when we return scoreless at Notre Dame. This is the first regular season meeting between A&M and Irish. Their last meeting of overall in the 94 Cotton Bowl. The Aggies defense, their coordinator was Bob Davie. They kept it close. The offense did its share as Rodney Thomas's 1-yard plunge gave the Aggies a 21-14 lead. But late in the game with a score tied at 21, Michael Miller returning this punt 38 yards to the 22, setting up the game-winning field goal, a 31-yarder by Kevin Pendergast, as the Irish won their 3rd straight New Year's Day Bowl. That was the 94 Cotton Bowl, which ranks as the last Notre Dame Bowl win. And R.C. Slocum, after that game, saw Lou Holtz talk to his defensive coordinator, Bob Davie, and offer him that same job at Notre Dame. Tough decision, but Davie, who wanted to be a head coach, thought it was his best opportunity and came to South Bend. Ron Israel stops Jamar Toombs. Toombs with his first carry of the contest.
Actually, Bob Davie turned down the job the first time Holtz offered him the job. It was the 2nd time when Holtz came after him. That's when he accepted. Felt, as most assistant coaches, you need to move around. You need to be in different programs and show your stuff at a variety of places. So he was hired both by R.C. Slocum and Lou Holtz, 2 pretty good evaluators and coaches.
Yeah, now with rumors of his demise circulating throughout college football, he seems very relaxed and very confident. Says this has a chance to be his best Irish team. Counterplay to Whitaker. And on 2nd and 5, Whitaker fights his way across the 30-yard line and the first Texas A&M first down of the game.
Yeah, that was a good description of Whitaker's run. He fights his way. Richard Whitaker is a disciplined runner. He's one of those guys. He's a fast guy, but a redshirt freshman who is a disciplined runner will not try to make every run a 40-yard run. Coaches love that. A lot of these new guys try to make everything a home run. Whitaker is a very patient runner.
Whitaker to the sideline and his 3-wide receiver formation. Toombs is the only setback. Ferguson in motion. Ferris handing to Toombs, hit behind the line and dropped for a loss of about 3 yards by Lance Legree. Legree, the senior from St. Stephen, South Carolina. In his 5th year, he's been a starter the last 2.
Well, if Notre Dame's going to have a better than a 5-7 season a year ago, it's guys like Lance Legree. They're going to have to raise some havoc. We've seen early pressure from the defensive front of the passing game, and there Lance Legree, a penetrating tackle on a rundown.
Give him a loss of 2, sets up 2nd and 12 for the Aggies as Ferris goes to the shotgun. Scoreless first quarter at Notre Dame.
Blitz coming out here.
And a handoff to Toombs. And the Irish ready for it. Got a yard to the 30. But Notre Dame ready for the run from the shotgun by Jamar Toombs.
Yeah, not a bad call by Steve Craigthorpe, the offensive coordinator. He sees that blitz. If he can pop that running back through that blitz, you have a chance of a real big run. But the Notre Dame defense just kind of shut it down. You mentioned Mark Ferris's first start since November of '93. It was against Galveston Ball High School. A little step up in competition.
As he played at Angleton High School. It's 3rd down and 11. Ferris. Pass complete to midfield and a first down. Ferguson makes the catch in front of Tony Driver for a gain of 20. Robert Ferguson, the junior college All-America at Tyler Junior College, has the Aggie faithful excited.
Right down here. This guy is a big physical guy that's going to roam the middle of the field. Believe me, in his conference, this is the guy they are very, very excited about, Robert Ferguson. Guy's a strong guy. He's got great size. They think a lot of tacklers are going to bounce off of him.
So the Aggies with a first down just across the midfield stripe. Ferguson in motion. Play action fake. Ferris going deep. He's got a man downfield. The pass, though, too long and incomplete, intended for Bethel Johnson.
Good play calling by Steve Craigthorpe, the offensive coordinator of A&M. I mean, he's got some nice mixes. Good protection here. This slows down the protection with the fake reverse. You see a couple of guys fall off the rush because of the fake reverse. It gives Mark Ferris a little bit more time. And again, this is Bethel Johnson. Had a good year last year for the Aggies. 3 yards too far, but gave him a chance.
He was behind Shane Walton, who was covering on the play, but the pass too long. 2nd down. Ferris in the shotgun. Fake to Toombs. Here's the option from Ferris. Faked the pitch and got a couple of yards as he ducked upfield.
Anthony Weaver made the stop there, Tom. Otherwise, that's a pretty good play. I mean, they have something going there for a nice gain for A&M, but Anthony Weaver moved back to defensive end. You know, had him kind of moved in as a tackle. He's playing out here, number 98. Kind of started as a true freshman in Notre Dame and started defensive end, and they moved him inside at tackle. Now he's back at defensive end so he can make plays like that.
From one of my favorite places, Saratoga.
Why is that? Why is that? You like those horses, don't you? I know.
Well, he performed like a thoroughbred on that play.
Oh, man, I knew you were going there.
3rd and 9. Ferris. His pass.
Boy,
It is. What a catch by Goins.
not enough.
Wayne Goins, the sophomore, making a catch short of the first down, but it looked like the Irish had a chance to intercept with Brock Williams.
One thing I've seen so far different in this Irish team from last year is they're getting more pressure on the quarterback. Now, that was a corner blitz, but they're getting after the quarterback.
So Cody Skates will punt again after the Aggies moved the ball for a couple of series. And Joey Getherall, once again, will field it. Getherall, never fair catches seemingly, and this time is no exception. And he's got nowhere to go. Lost yardage on the return. There's an instance where he should have fair caught the ball. Sammy Davis, for the 2nd straight time, captures Getherall. Lost a yard on the return, and the Irish are backed up again. The dog days of September. There's company E2 of the Corps Cadets at A&M, and the highest ranking officer in that company is Reveille 6, who's gone to the wet stuff here in the first quarter at Notre Dame. This is nothing compared to what it's been in College Station. What was it the other day?
106. That's a record. Another collie. I guess all the Reveilles, not all the Reveilles, but the last few have been collies.
She enjoying a drink of water.
There you go. Well done. 4 of them buried just outside the stadium there in College Station.
There's a freshman back in College Station keeping the former Reveilles who are buried there up to date on the score. Is that right?
Yeah, holds up a little placard with the score, which is 0-0 at this point, but hopefully get some action later on.
Notre Dame with 3 straight possessions now, starting inside their 20 as they begin here from the 13-yard line, and the Aggies keep them cool. High formation. Holloway, the tight end, resets to the right. Givens in motion. Give it to Julius Jones, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped as we go to the sideline, and Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, all of the Notre Dame tailbacks have been sentenced to carry a football everywhere they go. Howard, Fisher, and Julius Jones, they got to take this ball everywhere. It's got a synthetic cover over it, and this is to prevent them from fumbling. It's pretty slippery, but they got to take it to the dorm, take it to the classroom, take it to sleep with them. Everywhere they go, they're holding on to a football so that they'll try and hold on to it during the game. Tom?
And so far they have, and that was a recurring problem for the Irish a season ago. 2nd and 10. Again, Julius Jones made a nice cut to get up the field just short of the 20-yard line.
Just kind of following up on Jim's point, I think that was one of the biggest differences in the Irish season last year when they went 5-7 to the prior year when they went 9-3. 30 turnovers last year. They only had 13 the prior year when they went 9-3. We also had a bunch of 5 extra points missed, a bunch of field goals blocked. Defense gave up 26 points a game. But you add all those things together, you end up with a 5-7 season.
22 yards on the ground for Jones so far. This is 3rd and 4 for the Irish. Battle, again hands to Jones. Trying to turn the corner, jumps to the outside, caught around the ankles, and dropped after a gain of 1 as Jay Brooks latched on and would not let go of Julius Jones.
It's a good tackling team. R.C. Slocum's teams always seem to be good tackling teams, Tom. It looked like Julius Jones was going to bounce this thing outside easily for first down. He's got good speed. But Jay Brooks, who forced a fumble last year against Texas that really kind of saved the win for A&M, made a nice tackle there.
So Hillbold once again will punt for the Irish, his 3rd effort. And Taylor is deep.
They block a lot of kicks. A&M blocks a lot of kicks.
High snap, Hillbold sends it on its way. Chris Taylor will let it bounce, and it takes an Aggie bounce, a big Aggie bounce, finally down by the Irish at about their 47-yard line. Only a 26-yard punt. Good field position for the A&M Aggies in a scoreless first quarter.
And that is Greg Madison, defensive coordinator of Notre Dame, was an RC staff at A&M in '89, but he's got his defense playing pretty well early in this ball game. Defensive line in particular, when you play in A&M, you're going to have to stop the run. Thus far in the first quarter, they're doing that. They stopped the big back Toombs, 260 pounds of him, Anthony Weaver and friends. And again, number 98, Anthony Weaver, kind of really saved what looked like was going to be a pretty big run there. So the defense really, thus far, improved from what we saw at the end of last season. They lost their last 4 games and gave up 30 points a game. They look like they're attacking more, blitzing more than they did a year ago.
But the field possession battle steadily being won by the Aggies. They just have been unable to put one into the end zone.
The Aggies have averaged starting on their own 40.
And the Irish 3 inside the 20. Ferris pitching on the sweep. Weber gets his first carry of the game, and he is hit hard, bounces off tacklers, and got about 4 or 5 yards after he was going to be dropped for a loss. Legree and Israel meeting Joe Weber, but Weber did a good job keeping on his feet.
Yeah, Joe Weber, number 28, has the ability to go the distance as he did last year against Missouri, 77 yards. But he's also strong as well. Kind of bounces off 2, 3 Irish defenders. He's 228 pounds, has speed to turn the corner because there's an outside play, but a lot of strength as you saw at the end of that run.
So thanks to Weber's effort, it's only 2nd and 5. Goins on the reverse, goes one-on-one and gets away, spinning his way, bouncing to a first down. Determined run on the reverse by Dwayne Goins. It covers 6 yards on an A&M first down. Shane Walton finally made the tackle.
Dwayne Goins, the fastest player on this A&M team. If you're down in Texas, you're going to have some fast players. All those single-digit guys seem to be fast.
Yeah, I think it's the secret.
But not only the quickness, then some durability. Kind of broke through a couple tackles. He could see where the first down marker was. And although he's 179 pounds, kind of crushes through a couple of guys. Shane Walton being the last to pick up the first.
Denman had a shot at him, and Goins did a good job to pick up the first down.
So Mark Ferris has to manage the game well here now. He's almost in field goal range.
Final 32 seconds of the first quarter. Give it to Toombs, the fullback, and he has a couple of tough yards up the middle with Tario Harrison first to arrive on the scene.
What did R.C. Slocum say to us Thursday when we were in College Station? He said, I just want to get through this first quarter at least even. Let our team settle into this ball game. There's 10 seconds left in the first quarter. The score is even. So he is right where he wanted to be after the first quarter.
And when we start the second, Slocum and the Aggies will be threatening. That's the end of the first quarter at Notre Dame Stadium, with the Texas A&M Aggies and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish completing that first period without a score. It's Texas A&M nothing and Notre Dame nothing. We'll be back to Notre Dame stadiums after these words from your local station. Well, the smell of paint was thick at Notre Dame Stadium yesterday as the student managers preserve another Irish tradition, the painting of the golden helmets the day before the game.
You know, in California where I live, that's, you know, workman's comp claim waiting to happen. Mike Brown, the second-year Leprechaun, second year in a row.
And we start the second quarter in a scoreless game with our producer Kevin Smolin, director Jeff Simon, Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, and Jim Gray at Notre Dame Stadium. 2nd and 9 from the 34. Ferris, quick hitch to Ferguson, and he's across the 30, stopped short of the first down at the 29-yard line by Clifford Jefferson.
Yeah, you know, Ferguson is a guy that they think can play the position of wide receiver a little bit like a linebacker. You know, 210 pounds at 6'2". They're going to throw lots of passes to him like that this year, hoping that he's going to break some tackles. I mean, this is a dynamic guy. The offensive linemen were watching their tape last week, and they replayed it and replayed it. They're supposed to be watching themselves, but they're watching Ferguson run through their own defense.
3rd and 4, Ferguson in the slot, now goes in motion. Oops. And the Aggies offside, a costly penalty there is Bethel Johnson. And this actually will be the first penalty of the game, a little rare for an opening game.
Absolutely right.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Juszczyk, the referee today. Big 12 officials. This crew, I was actually visiting with them before the game. 5th year they've worked together. Meeting 4 hours before the game. Started here at 8 o'clock this morning.
And you were here, huh?
I was with them. Learned a lot. You know, I forgot some of those old rules.
Well, instead of 3rd and 4, now the Aggies have a 3rd and 9. Big difference and a costly penalty. Again, it's Ferguson in motion. Ferris, draw play, handoff is to Whitaker, and Whitaker is stopped at the 15-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle by Shane Walton, but it covered 19 yards and a Texas A&M first down.
It started with a really good call. Everybody's expecting pass, you call the draw. Then, most importantly, great execution. Watch how they come here and they create a little seam right there for Whitaker to kind of bounce through. We talked about him being a disciplined runner. Knows he's got the first down. Good tackle, though, by Shane Walton, but way late.
So Whitaker, the redshirt freshman from Jacksonville, Texas, a 19-yard run, and the Aggies have the ball at the 15-yard line of the Irish in a scoreless game. Toombs dropped for a loss by the center of the Notre Dame defense. Grant Irons was first to hit him.
Grant Irons, number 44, they're hoping for a really big season for Grant Irons. One of the more likable guys you're ever going to meet. You know, on the field or off the field. Just a terrific guy, an MIS major. And
he's the subject of our halftime feature, and what a pedigree he has. His dad, Gerald, played in the NFL. His brother, Jarrett, an All-American linebacker at Michigan. Gerald Jr. played at Nebraska, so he has the football genes. As the timeout is called, A&M's going to try to regroup as they face a 2nd and 10 in Irish territory. Notre Dame calls the timeout. We'll be right back. Back at Notre Dame Stadium as Texas A&M has a 2nd down and 10 on the 7th play of their drive. Scoreless in the second quarter. Mark Ferris in the shotgun. 4 wide receiver set. No pressure on Ferris, who completes the pass to Ferguson. He's out of bounds inside the Irish 10, about the 9-yard line. Driver and Walton forced him out there.
You know, it becomes a very important 3rd down now. Probably the most important thus far of this ball game. But I sure like the way Mark Ferris has handled and managed this game thus far, Tom. You know, big question marks opening game. Had to start it since 1993, but he's been dealing the ball to the open receivers accurately, and he seems very, very calm.
Yeah, one of the reasons he got the starting job was that maturity, that poise, and he's not been rattled at all by Notre Dame Stadium. 3rd and 4 for the Aggies. Ferguson in motion. Ferris, handoff.
Oh, boy.
Whitaker, touchdown, Texas A&M. Richard Whitaker, a 9-yard run, and again the draw play burns the Irish.
Good point there, and great counterpunching by R.C. Slocum and his staff. Notre Dame is blitzing a lot on those third downs, particularly from the outside. They have seen that, they made the adjustment, and this time they popped them through for the second time. They've run 3 draws. One they didn't pop through, but the other 2 they did. That time for the touch. Good call.
And Terrence Kitchens will attempt the point after from the hold of Wes Bodovich.
Had a lot of kicks blocked a year ago.
7 kicks blocked. But they've worked on that trajectory, and this one is up and through. So the Aggies finally take advantage of that advantageous field position they've enjoyed almost the entire first half.
You know, terrific. I think really a terrific series for the Texas A&M Aggies. They had some good runs outside, a couple of mixed-in passes, but Mark Harris accurately thrown. 3 draws on that series. This one for the touchdown. But again, you know, you call the play, then you get the execution, and they came right back to it. They saw the outside blitz by Notre Dame, felt if they could just get a little crease, they could get them in the end zone. Nice. That's a good coach, R.C. Slocum. 100 wins, over 100 wins in his career.
In his 12th season at Texas A&M, and it's remarkable the similarity in backgrounds between the two friends, R.C. Slocum and Bob Davie, who coached together at A&M, both from blue-collar, working-class backgrounds. Both played at small schools, McNeese State in Slocum's case, Youngstown State in Davie's case. Both played end, both married their high school sweetheart, and the kicker, the real clincher, they both formerly played the tuba.
Yeah, that's right. They didn't claim well, but they both played tuba in the junior high school band.
Davie said he didn't know too many notes, and R.C. said it got to a certain point where you had to choose either football or the tuba, and he's still not sure he made the right choice.
He actually contributes to the band at A&M, and they have a tuba in his honor, as a matter of fact.
Aggies to kick after an 8-play, 46-yard scoring drive. That one will bounce into the end zone, and it will be taken out by Jones. And Jones will not quite make it back to the 20-yard line. Harold Robertson making the tackle on the kickoff return. Go in depth on the Fighting Irish by logging on to msnbcsports.com. Click on NBC's Notre Dame Central, which features player profiles, game highlights, audio interviews with Coach Bob Davie, and expert analysis from our own Pat Hayden. That's msnbcsports.com, official website of NBC Sports.
Well, you use that word expert rather loosely, but thank you very much. You know, hey, actually, Nebraska's game when Notre Dame plays next week is actually the first time a webcast. You can't see it on TV, but you can turn your computer on. You probably can't. You have to have somebody else turn it on for you.
No, I can do that. In fact, I may do that from Sydney.
There you go. Going down to cover track and field, the Olympics. And I was asked to do synchronized swimming.
That should be a big moment, though, when the top-ranked Cornhuskers visit Notre Dame Stadium.
Yep.
Mix-up for the Irish here. They call their second timeout. They trail 7-0. Second quarter, Notre Dame Stadium. The Aggies leading the Irish 7-0. Notre Dame just calling its second timeout.
Yeah, you know, Notre Dame has burned 2 timeouts already. There's still 12:42 left in the first half, and this one was burned after a kickoff. So that was a poorly called timeout.
Now it appears that Arnaz Battle is changing the play at the line of scrimmage. They'll run the option, and the pitch to Jones, or to Howard it is, and Howard turning up for the first down. Terrence Keel, the strong safety, nudged him out of bounds after a gain of 12 on the option pitch to Terrence Howard, the junior from Willingsboro, New Jersey, whose dad, Tracy, just died from lung cancer in July this summer, and it was his dad, Tracy, that talked Terrence out of transferring to Pitt. He was all set to transfer to Pitt. He wanted him to stay at Notre Dame, and now his late dad is his inspiration. Battle. Play action fake. Pressure. He's hit, but he bounces off. Back to the line of scrimmage. Makes a great move. Cuts back to the 40-yard line. That was athletic. Arnaz Battle. He got a gain of 9 when he should have been stopped for a big loss.
Is that a great play? I mean, Cornelius Anthony is a linebacker. Weighs almost 230 pounds. Well, Arnaz Battle almost weighs 220. I mean, it just is an absolute great job of just staying alive. staying alive, and then making a gain. You know, picks up, as you said, 9 yards. Should have been a loss of about, 8 or 9.
So it's 2nd and 1 at the Irish 40-yard line. A&M leads 7-0. Getherall in motion. Give to the tailback Howard, and he'll have an Irish first down. Got about 2 yards up the middle.
Now, the Irish will use, and we've already seen 3 different tailbacks today. Tony Fisher, Julius Jones, and now Terrence Howard. All of them have different capabilities, and Terrence Howard's kind of a slim, angular guy, looks a little bit like a one-iron. And they'll give him the ball inside, but it's a very good receiver. He's Terrence Howard, very smooth.
Howard got some playing time, not a whole lot last season as a sophomore, but had a gaudy 5-yard per carry average.
Yeah.
He's the tailback in the eye. Pitch to Howard. Following his blockers to the 48-yard line. Here's a good example as Mike McNair at fullback was leading the blocking, and Jason Glenn finally got in there to make the tackle.
Good offensive line. Everybody but the center, Thane, is back for that offensive line. Everybody's pulling to the right, getting out in front. Mike Gandy, number 69, does a terrific job. Then the fullback, McNair, kind of drills a strong safety. But it was Mike Gandy, the right guard, that got out there and really led the way.
Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Notre Dame, trying to answer the A&M score in the second quarter with 11 minutes left. Holloway, the tight end, now sets from the shotgun. Battle fakes, has Holloway, tight end, bouncing off tacklers, first down to the 44 or 46-yard line. A gain of 7. Roy Lynn Bradley and Terrence Keel taking on 6'3", 260-pound Jabari Holloway, one of the Irish captains.
Yeah, and he's going to have to play like a big captain this year. Only caught 12 passes a year ago. Very good blocker. I mean, their running game a lot of times starts with Jabari Holloway, but I think he's a gifted receiver that they don't seem to use enough, particularly down inside the 10-yard line when he's such a big target.
He punished Terrence Keel, the strong safety that time. And Notre Dame in A&M territory for the first time today. Battle again operates from the shotgun on first down. No pressure. This pass broken up just at the last moment. Javin Hunter, the intended receiver, and Jay Brooks broke on the football, was able to get a hand in there.
Well, Jay Brooks, great story. He and the free safety Michael Jamison roomed together in high school. Jay's mother moved to Germany. She was in the service, and Jay Brooks moved in with the Jamison family, number 1. And, Jay got the couch, but when Mike stayed out late, I was told, Jay actually stole Michael's bed on an occasion or two.
Jamison knew all about the military stuff. He was an Army brat. His dad just retired from the Army. He moved around a lot, spent some time in Stuttgart, Germany. Second down play. Pressure on Battle, trying to set up a screen.
It's tipped,
but caught. Flag is down.
It was Jordan Black, the left tackle, caught that ball.
It was tipped by A&M.
No, he's not an eligible receiver, even though the ball was tipped.
Sammy Davis was the man that was in there as the pressure on Battle right from the start.
Yeah, remember they said about Sammy Davis, real long arms.
Defense, tip the pass. Ineligible caught it, which is okay.
Retired special education's teaching them.
So the tip pass, because it was tipped, it is ruled a catch. The first career catch for Jordan Black, and probably the last.
Well, it wasn't by design. He's an athlete. That's a big guy. I'm talking about Jordan Black, very athletic left tackle.
3rd and 11. The Irish looking for their first third down conversion. And they'll have to do it from 5 yards deeper as Dan O'Leary with a false start.
Yeah, it really has been a pretty good first game with very few penalties. What's the second, maybe the third penalty we've seen in a quarter and a half? Dan O'Leary, one of those 4 captains as well. Long snapper on punts.
Dead ball. False start. On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
On the screen right down here, number 86. Good player. See, he has the best hands on the team. They call him every day, because every day he comes to play, whether it's practice or on Saturdays.
Now 3rd and 16. Nickel defense from the Aggies. Battle in trouble. scrambles away, lets it go as he's hit as he released the ball, and it'll fall way short. Jason Glenn all over Arnaz Battle.
You don't have much time against this A&M defense when you're throwing it, do you, Tom?
The wrecking crew, and they don't call him the wrecking crew for nothing, is Jason Glenn. He's always talking. In fact, one of his teammates said, Jason, fire us up, not the other team, please.
He is quick. He is intense. He's a smart player, too. He's a good guy. He's a big personality.
Taylor and Jones deep, awaiting Hilbold's punt.
You don't want to punt this one to the end zone.
Low kick by Hilbold. It will be fielded at the 15. Fumble.
Recovered.
And it looked like Jones fell on it after Taylor had coughed it up. Aggies retain possession, but for the first time in the game, they're backed up. A 35-yard punt. They lost 4 on the return. Clifford Jefferson made the play for Notre Dame.
That's a good punt by Joey Hilbold.
Jefferson speeding downfield. Ball comes free, but the Aggies able to recover. Their ball deep when we return to Notre Dame. One of the legendary names in Texas A&M football history, Heisman winner John David Crowe, the Louisiana native who helped the Aggies earn a #1 ranking in 1957, the year he won the Heisman. Playing under Bear Bryant, Crowe a running back on offense, a linebacker on defense, the only Heisman winner in Bryant's illustrious career. Crowe went on to play in the NFL for 11 seasons, was athletic director at his alma mater, now works in the athletic office, and John David Crowe is with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. John David, we were just talking a moment ago. You still find it amazing that you were Coach Bryant's only Heisman winner, huh?
Well, you know, and I look at this honor. It is a tremendous honor. I mean, and the people that are in that elite group that has won the Heisman, but it will always be the biggest honor for me. Will be his only one. Coach Bryant was a great coach, and I guarantee you, if you asked 10 out of 11 people that you asked, they'd say Joe Namath was his only Heisman, and it does. It makes me feel awful good.
Now the Bear had been at Kentucky, then at Texas A&M with you. What was it like to play for him before he had become a legend?
Well, I think the same way. I happened to coach for him at Alabama after I got through playing professional football, and I think the kids there felt the same way we did. It's a tough duty, but he meant to teach us what it took to be successful after we got through playing football, and whether it was in college, high school, or wherever. But so his teaching went a lot further than just football.
John, great to see you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, still works in fundraising, Tom, and he retired as the athletic director back in '92.
All right, thank you, Jim. As Mark Ferris completes a quick pass to Chris Taylor in the flat, Brock Williams hits him immediately in a short gain for the Aggies. And John David Crowe, Pat, we had our own little Heisman moment earlier, didn't we? Just outside our booth before the game. John David and Paul Horning were visiting.
Great sight. Hey, this is really an important series, I think, right now for A&M. They need to get a first down, really to gain some field position before they punt it away.
Their worst starting field position of the day is they're now at the 13 and get nothing on that running play to Joe Weber. Grant Irons, the Texan, was up to the challenge.
Well, Tom, it's interesting to see now whether A&M will come back with a draw play. Again, see Grant Irons down here, number 44. Again, just kind of really closed off the outside, shut down the inside. So Grant Irons has played very well in this first half. But remember, A&M thus far, 3 draw plays successfully. 2 of them, I should say, 1 for the touchdown. Will Notre Dame come off the blitz? But this is an important down.
Loss of 1 on the last play. It's 3rd and 9.
No, not going to blitz this time.
Ferguson in motion. Ferris rolling to his right. Looking downfield, firing a strike complete. Robert Ferguson with a big first down catch for the Aggies.
Yeah, March Ferris has played really well. Remember, R.C. Slocum said, don't be surprised to see all 3 quarterbacks. Well, not if Mark Ferris keeps playing like this. Robert Ferguson just found that little soft spot. Good route up here. You know, you saw Chris Taylor. He really made that hole there for Robert Ferguson. And a mature and patient Mark Ferris drills the ball accurately between defenders.
They got Ferguson isolated on the linebacker Denman, and he couldn't cover him. Gain of 12, A&M first down. Handoff. Toombs. Toombs, who was the Aggies' leading ground gainer a season ago, held in check by the Irish defense so far today. Lance Legree, Tario Harrison combining for that hit.
Toombs down from 275 pounds to what he's felt 260. Now, big game against Texas a year ago, 37 carries, 126 yards. And you know, he's a big guy who can obviously lead you through the hole, your tailback, but he's a pretty nimble runner himself.
Former prep All-American from Kilgore, Texas High School. 2nd and 8 for the Aggies. Goins, the motion man. Play action fake, fake the reverse. Ferris with a pass, diving attempt made, no good. Incomplete, out of bounds, Chris Taylor.
Well, a tough throw for Mark Ferris going to his left. Grant Irons, I tell you, this play action fake that A&M keeps running. Here's Grant Irons down here, number 44. He's had a real good first half. These play action fakes are really doing a good thing of slowing that pass rush down. But it's just tough for the quarterback, Mark Ferris, to the right-handed throw to really get his shoulders turned in time.
Is that your toughest throw?
Absolutely. Well, they were all tough for me, Tom, but that's the toughest of them all.
3rd down and 8. A&M has converted 4 of 6 on 3rd down so far. They lead 7-0.
We got single coverage down here.
Ferris retreats under pressure, rolls to his right, delivers the ball, and incomplete. Clifford Jefferson arriving just at the right time to knock the ball loose as Bethel Johnson could not hold on.
Bethel Johnson.
Clifford Jefferson is their nickel back. Now comes in a real nice special teams play just a moment ago. Looks like he did catch it, but it was, well, and I dropped it at the end. But good play there by Jefferson. 1 on special teams and 1 as the nickel.
Skates is on to punt with Getherall deep for the Irish. Skates booms one upfield. Here's Getherall at the 28. Straight up the field. Now cuts to the sideline. Getherall at midfield. Getherall cutting his way back across the 40 to the 38-yard line, where the punter, Cody Skates, makes a touchdown-saving tackle. 35-yard return after the punt covered 42.
Well, I've been watching Notre Dame football for the last 3 years, and I've never seen Joey Getherall call for a fair catch. But remember, we said at the very beginning of this game, in the opening game of the season, special teams play a larger role than any other game in the season. You're just not used to coverage, covering guys like this with speed. You don't get that kind of tempo in practice.
Getherall only 5'7". They call him the jockey. And he's hard to catch up with sometimes. As he just tripped up and then Skates, the punter, puts him down for good. Irish, though, with a first down inside the 40 of the Aggies. They trail by 7. Here's the option. Battle. Pitching at the last minute. And a short gain, Tony Fisher. And there's a flag down. Penalty flag back in the A&M secondary.
The field judge threw it late. That's usually he's usually watching the tight ends.
Davey. It's going to be a hold against the Irish.
Funny, I was talking to the umpire earlier before the game, John Davidson, who said, hey, not everything's holding in college football anymore. You really have to be tackling somebody for us to call it.
Once again, the Irish can't stand prosperity.
Holding on an offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
When the field judge throws that, he's the guy that's back there in center field, right behind the free safety. It's usually the tight end. He's watching the tight end.
So it's now first down and 19 for the Irish. Handoff to Fisher. Down to about the 43, hit by Ronald Flemons and Cornelius Anthony. For more Fighting Irish sports information, log on to UND.com, where you'll find highlights and audio clips of Notre Dame football's coaches and players. Plus, each week, UND.com offers fans a chance to submit questions to a featured Notre Dame player. UND.com, official athletic site of the University of Notre Dame.
2nd and 18, Tom. Great time for an Arnaz Battle quarterback draw. And Jarius Jackson did that a lot last year with great success.
Throws downfield and had two receivers right together. The ball sort of goes between them. Gatherall and Fisher. And incomplete.
Threw it a little bit off balance, out of sync with that throw. And Bob Davie said to us yesterday that the Arnaz Battle is an improved thrower than a year ago. And I think this is the biggest question for the Irish this year. Can he become an accomplished passer? Now, Jarius Jackson didn't start off as a great passer, but became one.
Jarius, who called him on Thursday after making the Denver Broncos squad.
My T.
Third down. Battle across the middle. Hit the receiver. Right. David Gibbons hit him right in the back. If he turned around, he had a big reception, maybe a touchdown.
Yeah, then you think it's right here, I think, too, isn't it? Yeah, and he's against Jay Brooks, number 21. It looks like it goes off Jay Brooks' hands into the back of David Gibbons.
So fourth down and a Notre Dame punt upcoming. Hilbold has been a busy man in this first half.
Good defensive game by really by both defenses.
Chris Taylor deep for A&M. Hilbold trying to pooch punt it.
Yeah, that's a good punt again. That's a great punt. Great punt.
It'll back the Aggies up inside their own 5-yard line. Clifford Jefferson again downfield to down it. Punt only covered 39, but excellent placement. And once again, the Aggies are backed up, so they lead 7-0. 7-0 Aggies. Arnaz Battle's had a rough first half.
Well, he's getting banged around a lot. I think he's played reasonably well, but boy, he's gotten hit a few times. Again, the option quarterback, you're going to take some shot. That was a late hit. It was not called. Should have been. Again, this was a terrific play, athletic play. But you see, he's getting pounded pretty good. Big problem last year for Jarius Jackson. The quarterback got hit too much.
So Battle trying to regroup on the sideline while the Notre Dame defense now has the Aggies backed up after the good punch. First down for Texas A&M inside their own 5. Early in the game, A&M had field position. Finally took advantage of it to score. Now the Irish trying to take advantage. They have yet to dent the scoreboard. Ferris from his own end zone all day. Looks way downfield for Ferguson. Collision and
did he get held there?
Yeah, Ferguson is saying, and the flag is down.
Yeah, he got held. That was pass interference, and R.C. Slocum has a right to be concerned. I think it was Ron Israel who kind of grabbed him. Okay, some creative play calling by Steve Craigthorpe, the offensive coordinator. This is a quarterback that's never started a college game. His very first play was a pass, and then out of his end zone, up 7-0, they throw the ball.
They displayed great confidence in Mark Ferris, and he's delivered.
Well, we talked to him Thursday. He is a mature kid.
Interference against Notre Dame. Ron Israel. Ferris is married, has a 4-year-old daughter, Cameron. Here he is passing from his own end zone.
I believe it was number 5 who grabbed him, Ron Israel.
There it is.
Pass interference.
Yeah, right there. See, he just kind of grabbed his right arm. Didn't give him a chance.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Puts the ball just short of the 20-yard line.
You know, the deep ball out of the end zone is a pretty good call, Tom, or offensive call with two things. You can catch the ball. A lot of times you get pass interference calls. So it worked that time for A&M.
So the Irish had A&M backed up deep. Now some breathing room for Texas A&M. I formation. Give to the fullback Toombs. And once again, the Irish defense ready for him after a short game.
They're doing the Irish front is doing a pretty good job stuffing the run. Grant Irons, Andy Wisney, Weaver, Lance Legree, those guys.
And Harrison and Israel getting in on that one as they gang tackled Toombs, who has had only 9 yards gained in 7 carries.
That's Greg Madison, defensive coordinator. He and Kurt Dahl, as well as Bob Davie, were on the A&M staff in the late 80s.
2nd and 9. Short drop. Ferris threw it behind his intended receiver, Mickey Jones. Clifford Jefferson defending on the play. Incomplete, bringing up a 3rd down play. Don't forget, near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Important play here for the Irish defense.
Yeah, absolutely. They brought in their nickel defense, actually their dime defense, 2 extra defensive backs. But this is where A&M has run pretty well against the nickel.
3rd and 9. the draw again. This time, Whitaker gets nothing. Stopped at the 20-yard line by Denman and Boyman.
Yeah, I still like the call. I mean, you have a good play, force the other team to stop it. They've run it 4 times. 2 times Notre Dame has stopped it. 2 times it's been successful. Here's Boyman up top, number 30. Any guy named Rocky should make a lot of tackles, right? He got held. Oh, Rocky Boyman got held, too.
So Skates will punt.
Here they come. They're going after it.
He got it away.
Boy,
did he ever. Getherall has to backpedal and retreat all the way to the 25-yard line. Try to get a block to get free. Comes the other way and cuts up the field. They finally collar him at the 30-yard line. Wes Bonovich, the walk-on, is the man that puts him down. The return, despite all that running, only covered 4 yards after a 53-yard boomer. So Notre Dame let A&M get some breathing room, but hoping now to take advantage as they begin at their own 30. Coming up on the Sun America Halftime Report, Hannah Storm in our New York studio with college football scores and highlights, a feature on Notre Dame's Grant Irons, the Texan, and a Bob Costas Olympic report from Sydney. That's all coming up at halftime.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Irons must be pretty good people. Both their sons were captains of their respective football teams. One at Michigan and one at Notre Dame. Good kids.
Battle play action fake. Throws it complete to Lipinski, who rambles across the 45 to the 46-yard line, where Terrence Keogh blasts him out of bounds. But Lipinski, the fullback, with a reception for 17 yards.
Yeah, Tom Lipinski, the second throw to him today. He didn't get much production out of the fullback position a year ago. He has lost 20 pounds, a little bit more nimble. And he is at 235 now still. Good patience by Arnaz Battle. Generally, the fullback in the passing game is open.
O'Leary, the tight end, flexing now to the bottom of the screen. Blitz comes from A&M. It's an option play. Battle cuts up, and Battle out of bounds has a first down just short of the A&M 40. Michael Jamison pushes him out of bounds as O'Leary was leading the blocking on the option, which covered 11 yards.
Yeah, and Tom Lipinski, number 36, the fullback, too. Watch, a moment ago, he just caught the pass. That time he just kind of clears out the way for Arnaz Battle to kind of slither his way through. So we've seen, a pretty interesting Irish offense. Again, the question is, can they get the ball to those wide receivers enough to have some easy, cheap touchdowns?
Battles rushed for 26 yards on 5 carries. 3.5 minutes to go until halftime, and the Irish driving, but down 7. Option. Battle keeps, spins to the 35-yard line. Put down there by Gerard Penwright after a gain of 6.
Tom, you mentioned something just a moment ago. 3 minutes now, just about 3 minutes left in this first half. Notre Dame only has 1 timeout. They really burned, I think, one poorly in the early part of this game. And here's where you get in situations where you really need to be using those timeouts.
It's 2nd and 4
Bob
for the
Beatty was
Irish.
talking to us yesterday about all the different scenarios they have practiced this week in this kind of situation, using the clock with timeouts, without them, end of the game.
Battle hands to the fullback Lipinski, and the Beast, they call him, whose dad, Tom Sr., played at Notre Dame, and whose sister, Sarah, is a senior on the Notre Dame track team, picks up a first down, rambling his way for 6 yards.
Kevin Rogers, the offensive coordinator of Notre Dame, saying the biggest difference in Tom Lipinski's game this year is the mental game. I mean, he really feels comfortable, knows what he's doing. This is Kevin Rogers with his new hip, had a hip replacement. He was kind of hobbling around a lot last year.
2.5 minutes on the clock. Lipinski picks up the first down. And the ball spotted inside the Aggie 30. Battle. Steps up, can't get the pass away. Collides with one of his own men. Then does pass and finds Lipinski again. Lipinski fights his way close to the 10-yard line. They'll mark him out of bounds at about the 12. Still a 16-yard gain on the scramble by Battle.
Yeah, 2 things here. Great athletic play once again by Arnaz Battle. But Mike Gandy, the right guard over here, watch him, number 69. He's going to stay on. First he blocks the nose tackle. Edwards, if the ball is supposed to be away, he senses that it's not. He does not quit, does not give up, blocks him a second time. That allows Battle to get rid of the ball.
First down Notre Dame at the 12-yard line at Texas A&M. 2 minutes, 13 seconds till halftime, 7-0 Aggies.
A lot of problems last year in the red zone for the Irish.
Pitch. Fisher. Down to about the 7 where Roy Lynn Bradley stops him.
2 minutes left in the half, and again, if you're Arnaz Battle, you realize, hey, you have one timeout, should have plenty of time to get enough place to get the ball into the end zone. You see what happened last year inside the 20. A lot of field goals blocked. What was it? 4 field goals blocked inside the 5-yard line.
From the 9-yard line, the Irish face a 2nd and 7. Battle, play action fake, plenty of time, lost for the end zone, Gatherall, touchdown. Gatherall, a 9-yard reception from Arnaz Battle, who found his passing game late in that drive, and the extra point by Nick Setta to tie the game. It is up and it's good. 7-7 game.
Joey Gatherall is really quick. We've seen that on punt returns, but he's awfully quick out of the break too. He got a face mask on him. He was held, but he gets out of the break, creates separation, and that is real nice touch by Arnaz Battle.
The 5th receiving touchdown of Gatherall's career at Notre Dame.
Tom, the other thing that Gatherall did well, he gave his quarterback Battle plenty of sideline to be able to, loft that ball and still have him come down inbounds.
Arnaz Battle finally got the offense rolling. 70 yards in 7 plays, just over 2 minutes. The tie of the score. Battle 3 for 3 through the air on that drive.
Well, if he can continue to throw the ball like that, Arnaz Battle, I think the Irish offense has a chance to be both powerful and explosive. And in college football today, you need that. You just can't be methodical. You need to have some big plays.
Well, Battle had struggled through the air through most of the first half, but then perfect on the 70-yard drive. And with 1:31 to go till intermission, we're knotted at 7.
And A&M has all 3 timeouts remaining, and I'll tell you, the A&M staff is, not called necessarily a real conservative game for Mark Ferris, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them get something, going here. They have very good return men. Sean Slocum, the special teams coach, said, hey, the kickoff return for us should be a good play.
Matt McNew, the former soccer player, will kick off for Notre Dame with Whitaker and Ferguson deep for the Aggies. McNew puts it high but short. Whitaker takes it on the run at about the 15 and makes it to the 26 before the Irish special teamers put him to the turf. Well, much has been made of the early season schedule for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and it goes from the 23rd ranked team in the nation to the #1 team next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern. The Fighting Irish will take on Heisman candidate Eric Crouch and the #1 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers, 2:30 Eastern time next week on NBC. All 3 timeouts remaining, as Pat said, for the Aggies. Whitaker running. He did get out of bounds after a gain of about 8 yards. Tony Driver put him to the sideline as they did a little pitch counter play.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting call, but a smart play by Whitaker. This guy is only a freshman, but we called him a disciplined runner earlier in the game. That time he knows the exact situation of the game. It's, less than 2 minutes and a half. Get out of bounds if you can.
Gained over 5,000 yards in his career at Jacksonville, Texas high school. Redshirted a year ago and a productive first half in his first college game. 2nd and 2. Ferris in the pocket, delivers a pass, shaking one tackler, Whitaker, and finally out of bounds again, just short of midfield after a gain of 14.
R.C. Slocum has to be happy with his first half. Game score tied at 7. his quarterback that they didn't know anything about his very first start. Mark Ferris has played beautifully this first half. Got a great drive going here with 1:12 remaining, all 3 timeouts, and a kicker who a year ago had a 62-yard field goal last year and 4 over 50 yards. So, again, Ferris knows the situation. Don't take a sack and certainly don't throw the interception.
And again, that maturity is showing for Ferris, 25 years old, married and a father. From the shotgun here. Swing it to Whitaker. Whitaker caught from behind and dropped short of midfield by Wisney.
Yeah, the offensive
Weaver, excuse me. Anthony Weaver.
Remember the offensive coordinator, Steve Cragthorpe, saying, you know, it's kind of funny having your quarterback with kids the same age as yours.
Cameron, Mark Ferris's 4-year-old daughter, goes to kindergarten with some of the assistant coaches' daughters. 2nd and 8. Ferris no one home on that one as Bethel Johnson turned outside and Ferris threw it on down the sideline. Stops the clock at 42 seconds. Third down coming up for the Aggies in a 7-7 game, closing seconds of the first half.
It's been kind of a, point counterpoint defensively for the Irish. When the Irish have blitzed, they've been able to put pressure on the passer, but A&M has counterpointed by running some pretty good draw plays.
3rd and 8. Mark Ferris has hit 9 of 15 through the air for 70 yards.
This is not a blitz situation here.
Ferris rolls. Pass drops by Goins.
He wouldn't have made the first down anyway.
Rocky Boylan defending as Goins dropped the pass. It'll be 4th down.
Here's Goins, their fastest receiver, though, but it's 3rd and 8. And I guess you're hoping he's going to catch it short of the sticks and maybe make somebody miss. But even if he caught that, they're going to still be forced to punt the ball.
So Skates will punt with 37 seconds left to the dangerous Joey Getherall.
I bet you Getherall doesn't fair catch.
Don't take a chance on me now. He's spiraling. He signals for the fair catch, but no one paid any attention to that fake fair catch signal. They knew he wasn't going to fair catch. 50-yard punt, but the touchback will put it at the 20. So R.C. Slocum has been to Notre Dame Stadium before. It's A&M's first visit here, but Slocum came as a USC assistant when they beat the Irish, and he was impressed with John Robinson's speech. He told his Trojan players it's going to be real pretty back there. The leaves have all turned colors. The campus is beautiful. I don't want you to look at the leaves. If you want to, we'll take some of them, put them in a bag, and you can look at them when you go home. First down for Notre Dame, 30 seconds left in the half.
Should run this thing out.
And they will hand it to Fisher.
Just got to secure the ball there. That's a situation I think we have both hands on the ball. This A&M defense can force a lot of fumbles as they did a year ago.
Well, field position has been important in this first half. A&M had the advantage earlier, finally scored, and Notre Dame with a 70-yard drive after they had advantageous field position earlier. And we're all tied at 7-7. The friends R.C. Slocum and Bob Davie have seen their squads battle to a tie at halftime. And let's go to Jim Gray with Bob Davie.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Coach, are you impressed with the way Arnaz Battle has shown such tremendous calm and poise in his first half as a starter?
I think Arnaz showed some resiliency coming back after a little bit of a shaky start. I think our football team's starting to come back right now and gain some confidence. You know, Jim, we played 9 games last year that came down to the final series of the game. So this one will probably do the same thing. I think that's to our advantage. So we're going to go in at halftime and build on this momentum right now.
You got any plan? It's been a great defensive struggle. Obviously, you're going to need some more offense because it's been great defensively both sides.
I think we need to play a little better on defense. They're doing some different things. They hired a new coach from Iowa State. They put some of their sprint draw and their turn back stuff in. We have to make some adjustments. Third down's hurting us a little bit on defense, and also we missed some tackles. This is going to be a battle of wills out here today, I promise you, because it's hot.
Coach, good luck in the second half. All right, Tom, back upstairs to you.
All right, Jim, I think Bob Davie is right. This game gives every indication of going down to the final series. 2 young quarterbacks doing a good job. Not young in Ferris's case, but untested. Mark Ferris and Arnaz Battle. And at the end of the first half from Notre Dame Stadium, it's Texas A&M 7 and Notre Dame 7. And Matt McNew measuring the kickoff and getting ready to get the second half underway.
6'5", one of the tallest kickers around.
A former soccer player who completed his soccer eligibility and has a year eligibility of football. Sends it on its way to start the second half, and McNew got it.
Well, that's a good kick.
Wow. Into the end zone with no return, and that's the reason that young man is kicking off. He eliminates the possibility of return as he buries it in the end zone.
Well, A&M play selection was pretty balanced in the first half. Football coaches love balance. You always hear that. But they had 16 passes and 17 runs. Couple of punts to start a third possession. They kind of got it geared. Good, nice little drive. A touchdown off some real good play calling by Steve Craigthorpe. Was a draw play on a blitz situation. Got him in the end zone.
So here we are, first play of the third quarter as the Aggies begin from their own 20, 7-7 game. Ferris through the air, caught by Johnson, makes a move and gets close to the first down. He'll have a first down, gain of 12. Shane Walton forces him out of bounds. So Mark Ferris to the air to open the second half.
Yeah, we opened the first half with a pass, if you recall, that was dropped. I mean, this guy's been on rhythm pretty much the whole game. 9 of 16 the first half. That one right on the numbers. These wide receivers are so talented after the catch, particularly Ferguson and Bethel and Chris Taylor. Those three guys get him the ball in those quick routes and let him run.
From the eye on first down. Tailback, Whitaker. A couple of tough yards. Anthony Denman, the senior who is a Texan from Rusk, Texas, makes the stop for Notre Dame.
Richard Whitaker, I mean, you got to know when you can turn the jets on for the 15, 20-yard gains, and then you know when you put your helmet down just to kind of break a tackle. And that's just what coaches absolutely love that. Sometimes the best runs are 3, 4, 5-yard runs.
2nd and 5, we'll call it. Goins the motion man, and the give is to Whitaker. And Whitaker pounds up close to the first down, maybe just short. Andy Wisney.
Tom, A&M, almost every running play is faking the reverse to one of the wide receivers in the motion, and it's really slowed down the pass rush of Notre Dame. But sooner or later, I've got this feeling they're going to give the ball to that guy, that receiver faking the reverse. That time, if they had given it to Goins, he had some place to go.
Third down and just about a yard to go. 3rd and 1.
Haven't had a lot of short yardage plays this game.
Whitaker has the first down, but not a lot more. Collapsed by Harrison after he did pick up a couple of yards and only needed 1 for the first.
Seth McKinney, the center there, a 3-year starter, number 77, led the way there. It's his 27th straight start. The only game he missed was in high school. He broke his foot in a pep rally when he broke his foot doing a Mexican hat dance, he said. Fell down.
Fell down. So embarrassed. And not only that, was the only game he missed when he broke his foot in high school. His brother plays for the Indianapolis Colts, Steve. Here's a sack of Ferris as Roberts comes storming through. And Ryan Roberts, the junior from Lawnside, New Jersey, with a sack for Notre Dame.
Greg Madison needs his defensive lineman to come up with some sacks without blitzes. Only 19 sacks a year ago. Ryan Roberts just kind of beats his guy quickly and in the face of Mark Ferris. No chance for Ferris. That's a big play by Ryan Roberts.
So 2nd and long now, a 7-yard loss on that play. 2nd and 17 for Ferris, who's in the shotgun. Pressure again on Ferris, sets up a screen. Toombs gets by one man with a block and then dives forward over Shane Walton. And got about 7 yards, or maybe 6.
But good call, Tom. 2nd and 17. You don't worry about it getting all 17 in one play. They got, maybe 8 of it back or so. Nice little screen play. And, I'll tell you, when you see 260 pounds of Toombs, Jamar Toombs coming at you, you hope you got some help.
3rd down and 11 coming up. There's Toombs, who will be next to his quarterback Ferris, who's in the shotgun on 3rd and long. See if the Irish blitz to put pressure on him. Don't show it.
Yeah, doesn't look like a blitz here. Well, here comes the corner.
Picked up on the blitz and then interference.
Yep.
As Chris Taylor cut across the field. Clifford Jefferson collided with him, and a costly Notre Dame penalty will give the Aggies a first down.
But, you know, that was the first time you couldn't read, or I couldn't read the blitz of Notre Dame. We both of us, it looked like a zone defense, but then off the corner, Brock Williams, number 1, came. Good adjustment by Ferris. Knew he had to get rid of the ball quickly.
That was going to be a tough catch, too.
Yeah,
so
yeah. But, you know, defensive backs just don't know that.
Pass interference.
Don't have a feel for that. But
it's a spot foul. Ball will be set where the interference took place.
Yeah, it was earlier than you saw there, but indeed, Clifford Jefferson got to Chris Taylor, pulled down his arm a little bit before, and Mark Ferris was playing referee on that play.
So Notre Dame now with 4 penalties, 45 yards, but more importantly, 3 of those 4 penalties have led to A&M first downs. This one sets the ball at the 44 of the Irish. This will be Weber, the backup tailback, bounces to the outside, and just tripped up short of the 30-yard line by Ron Israel.
What a great lead block by Jamar Toombs. You know, we talked about him last year being their leading ball carrier. 260 pounds of fullback on the linebacker, right there. Saw that. And then, you know, it's really easy for the running back kind of pick up a first down behind a lead block like that.
It went for 14 yards for Joe Weber.
The linebacker fills the hole, but the fullback clears it out for him.
First down, A&M. Here's a handoff to Toombs, hit at the line of scrimmage. Churns out a couple-of-yard gain when he was actually hit first behind the line of scrimmage. Rocky Boyman, Tony Driver, the free safety, combined to get the big fullback to the turf.
Good opening drive here for A&M in this second half.
From the 29 of the Irish, they'll have second down and 8.
RC patted Jamar Toombs on the shoulder pad there because he both ran the ball well and blocked well in that series.
And off to Weber. Stopped short of the 25-yard line. Brock Williams hit him and held on, and then got help from Courtney Watson.
Good, solid offensive line play, one-back situation. In a stunning Notre Dame defensive tackle stunted inside. Good read. It allowed him just kind of pop it outside the stun of Notre Dame.
10th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 4 for the A&M Aggies. Weber's carried for 21 yards. Over 5 yards a carry. Blitz coming, picked up by A&M, and the pass is complete. First down, Texas A&M. Chris Taylor made a catch in traffic for 9 yards before he was stopped by Courtney Watson.
I really like the feel of the game that Mark Ferris has got going. I mean, he is playing with incredible confidence. You have to believe you haven't played or started since 1993. You come into a place like this, which is pretty hostile. Well, they have some pretty hostile places in the Big 12. And you perform this way, this well, is pretty amazing, I think.
Being a quarterback, you might think Ferris was a pitcher during his minor league baseball career. Third baseman, first baseman, played the corners. He's trying to play the corner here as he hands off to Weber. Once again, Courtney Watson in on the play. The young man, a sophomore from Sarasota, Florida, who didn't play last season, a high school running back, has gotten some minutes here in the second half and has been in on some stops.
Yeah, great stop. Kind of a surprise. Courtney Watson has had an interesting career. Came as a running back, then moved to defensive back, and really just recently moved to linebacker.
Second down and 10 coming up for the Aggies. We're 7-7 in the third quarter. Just 9:45 on the clock in the third period. Opening drive of the second half, A&M marching. They started at their own 20. Quick drop, loft for the end zone for Ferguson. Ferguson battling with Jefferson, and the flags fly.
Well, I'll tell you, Rocky Boyman got a big piece of Mark Ferris. You know, the A&M coaches told us this week, Tom, that one of their game plans, Robert Ferguson, they wanted to give him some jump ball situations down by the goal line, as they did here. Yeah, he got pulled. Looked like his left arm got pulled. That was the Clifford. But boy, did Ferris get hit by Rocky Boyman over the top. But they wanted to give Ferguson some jump balls down by the goal line and some quick outs to make him bounce off tackles. That's 2 on this series on Clifford Jefferson, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
His coach not happy as he takes Clifford out of the game. Clifford is a Texan from Dallas. But his 2 interference calls have aided the Aggies mightily on this drive.
On the defense.
But A&M has 92 of their 101 players are from the state of Texas.
Automatic first down.
And Notre Dame has 19. Pretty good high school football.
Pretty good endorsement for high school football in the Lone Star State. First and goal from the 2-yard line. Split backs in the backfield. Weber hit behind the line and dropped back to the 5-yard line by Grant Irons. There's another Texan for you.
Yeah. Grant Irons and Anthony Deadman, the other Texan. Deadman got him first. Grant Irons finished him off. Irons, it's like, well, here's Irons' number, but here's the first hit. Here's the first hit. Deadman there.
And Grant shaking up on the play. Grant Irons. They bring Weber down.
Talked with Grant Irons yesterday. Said, you know, if we're able to beat A&M, being from Texas, it makes going home for Christmas a lot nicer.
There's his dad, Gerald, who played in the NFL. And Grant saying most of his friends, a lot of his friends and teammates went to A&M. He wanted something a little different, and he always was enamored with the history and tradition of Notre Dame football.
If you imagine having two sons who are captains, one at Michigan and one at Notre Dame, I mean, Grant, Mr. and Mrs. Irons did an awfully good job with their 3 boys.
I think his dad is chairman of the school board in the Woodlands, Texas.
And Grant is 44 right there.
He leaves the field. And it'll be second and goal now from the 5-yard line after that loss of 3 as they tend to Irons on the sideline. Impressive opening drive of the 3rd quarter by the Aggies.
We'll call time.
Who will call timeout here. Don't want to miss out on this opportunity. They'll face a second and goal when we return to Notre Dame Stadium in a 7-7 game.
Back in South Bend, Indiana, game tied at 7 in the 3rd quarter. I'm Jim Gray. Well, Grant Irons just left the field. He's being attended to by the trainers from Notre Dame. He has a cramp in his right thigh and his left calf. They are working on him right now. He's being attended to by the physicians, and he will return to the game. Tom?
All right, Jim, thank you very much. So Irons out on this series, which will be second and goal now from the 5-yard line for Texas A&M. The Irish have, I presume, a goal line unit in there.
Indeed it is.
They line up in that goal line defense. Linebacker Harrison walks right up to the line of scrimmage. Now backs off a bit. High formation for the Aggies. The tailback down to about the 3-yard line as Weber gets the call again, and Tony Driver, the safety, number 25, the former running back from Louisville, Kentucky, makes the hit.
You know, Tony Driver is a pretty good tackler for being a former running back. A lot of times when you see him hit a guy, they go backward. And that's just what happened here. Got some help from Brock Williams. See, he drives guys backward. You don't gain many yards after contact when you hit Tony Driver.
Important down here on the goal line.
Big down, big down.
3rd and goal. Ball spotted at the 3. Fullback Toombs. No signal. Stopped short. Stopped inside the 1. Now the decision for R.C. Slocum. Less than a yard on 4th down. Do you go for it? Do you kick the field goal?
Well, I think you got to. I think you kick it myself. Well, you're playing on the road. Now he's going for it.
He's going to go for it. Inside the 1-yard line. 4th and goal for Texas A&M. 7-7 game. 15th play of the drive that has opened the second half.
There's movement.
Toombs stopped.
No.
Laid down.
A&M got a break. Yeah, there was movement before the snap, so A&M got a break there.
And they can't, Notre Dame will not have the option because it stops the play when the false start occurs.
Absolutely right.
Dead ball.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Well, rarely does a penalty age your cause, but in this case, A&M will get another chance.
Yeah, only the 2nd in the game, but for A&M, but it does help. You know, on the road in these kind of situations, boy, I just think you kick the 3, you take the lead.
Well, now he will kick.
Yeah.
Now, after the 5-yard penalty, he will kick. This is Kitchens. Had 7 blocks last season, a low trajectory. This is a 23-yarder for the lead. Kitchens.
Yeah, it's high enough there.
Yeah, he got it. It looked good all the way. Kitchens with no problem Given a second chance on 4th down, the Aggies convert for 3 to take the lead. It's Texas A&M 10 and Notre Dame 7.
Well, Notre Dame's defense gave up 3 points, but I'll tell you, there was some awfully good tackling down by that goal line. Great goal line defense. And not only tackling, but pushing the A&M ball carriers back. Didn't get in the end zone, forced the field goal attempt, and A&M's up by 3. But that's good goal line defense.
And A&M, a 15-play, 75-yard drive that results in the field goal as they got a second chance on the penalty. And Notre Dame about to get their first possession of the second half with 7:25 on the clock as Grant Irons continues to be tended to on the Notre Dame sideline. Had cramps and now has removed the pads.
Looks like a football player, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Built like a player. He's gained, what, 50 pounds since coming to Notre Dame. So the 12th man is the traditional walk-on, the man that carries that mantle. It's Eric Stanford. The 12th man of the Aggies, always a walk-on on kickoff coverage. Skates to kick with Driver and Gibbons deep. Gibbons from the goal line. Gibbons finds a seam and squirts through to the 28-yard line where he's finally stopped by Jared Morris. Just able to slow him down and finally make the tackle. Stanford, the 12th man for the Aggies, downfield on coverage.
I think it's one of those great college traditions, Tom. You know, he earns the position, and he is a walk-on, but he's a football player. Represents the whole student body, and he's doing a nice job of getting held there, I guess. But
being taken on by Jerome Sapp, another freshman, a Notre Dame freshman. So Notre Dame's first possession of the second half, 7:15. The Aggies have about 5,000 faithful up from Texas today. Fake a pass, fumbled, ball fallen on by Tony Fisher. Fisher in battle on the exchange from quarterback to running back, fumbling the ball after the fake pass.
Yeah, that was an interesting call. I haven't seen this one. They faked the throw down there, then it's going to be a draw play. Neither team lost a turnover in the first half. And Notre Dame in the first half has averaged, 6.5 yards on first down.
Not that time. They lose a pair, so it's 2nd and 12. Battle might be changing the play here. From the eye, option. Battle, nowhere to go. Trapped and stopped by the A&M defense as Cornelius Anthony wrapped him up in a hurry.
Yeah, 5 white jerseys around Arnaz Battle. A&M under R.C. Slocum, the wrecking crew, has always played good defense. Bob Davie, the former defensive coordinator there. Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator there now. But you're generally going to see a lot of Aggies around the ball.
Irons heads to the locker room. Meanwhile, the Irish offense facing a big play here with the momentum swinging toward A&M. They face a 3rd and 12. Looking for a 3rd down conversion. Battle's pass, too tall, intended for Javon Hunter. So 4 and out for Notre Dame after the Aggies had taken the lead. Or 3 and out, and the 4th down coming up, and Hillbold to punt.
The 4th down, yeah. It's old Colorado, Nebraska.
That's right.
4th down a couple years ago.
Didn't get an extra one this time.
That's right.
Hillbold will punt to either Taylor or Jones. Fails a deep one.
Wow.
Taylor retreats and can't catch it. It's going to roll and stop at the 3, and the Irish almost knocked it into the end zone. It'll be touched, though, at about the 3 or 4 yard line. Jefferson and Driver flying downfield to try to cover it. It was a 70-yard boot by Hillbold. It'll be down by the Irish. They have the Aggies deep, but A&M has taken the lead. It's Texas A&M 10 and Notre Dame 7. 10-7 as the Notre Dame offense tries to catch some momentum. Sellout crowd of over 80,000. Bob Davie, the Irish coach, has never lost an opener. He's 3-0. He trails by 3, but after that 70-yard punt, the Aggies are backed up to their own 4-yard line. Ferris, handoff to Weber, across the 5 to the 7, as we check in with Jim Gray.
All right, Tom. Well, Grant Irons walked off the field. He's been taken into the locker room just because they want to take every precaution. He's very dehydrated. They want him to cool off in the locker room, get out of the sun. He's going to have an IV administered to him, according to Dr. Will Yorkler. Grant walked off the field. I spoke to him. He said he's okay and that he hopes to return. But it's 108 degrees down here, and it's a wonder this isn't happening to more guys. Tom?
All right, as Grant's dad looks on, second and 6. Again, it's Weber hit as he received the football and taken down by Anthony Denman and Lance Legree.
Okay, here's where Mark Ferris once again has to be aware of his situation. Again, you had to recognize as a quarterback your defense is playing real well, and you're up by 3 points. If you're going to call a pass here, be careful with it. Don't get this ball picked off, and you don't take a sack. There's a new, grounding rule, much more liberal in college football this year. Don't take a sack, and don't turn the ball over.
Ferris has hit 12 of 19 for 97 yards. This is 3rd and 6. Ferris lofts it down the sideline, and it's dropped by Chris Taylor.
Perfect throw by Mark Ferris.
Once again, they victimized Clifford Jefferson down the sideline, and only the drop by Taylor prevented a big play.
But isn't that good play calling? Clifford Jefferson's had 2 pass interference penalties called on him, had struggled last year at corner some on deep routes. Now this is a guy, Chris Taylor, who's caught a lot of deep balls the last couple of years for A&M, including a 96-yard touchdown a year ago. But that should have been, it really should have been a touchdown.
Ferris says, what happened? Ball was there. Instead, Skates punched from his end zone to the dangerous Getherall, partially blocked. Getherall says stay away from it. It'll roll dead at about the A&M 45-yard line. Only a 37-yard punt. Partially blocked on the Notre Dame rush.
Yeah, remember we said special teams in the opening game, you're just not quite sure how it's going to work out. Yeah, who was it on the corner?
That was Glenn Earl, number 19, a sophomore from Lisle, Illinois, that got a piece of it.
It plays like that. Now, Glenn Earl may not make another great play this entire year for Notre Dame, but that play right there and that effort might lead to a win today. You just never know.
So now the pressure shifts to the Irish offense. Great field position. They start at the 44, they mark it, of Texas A&M. 10-7 Aggies, 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Battle pitches to Jones, Julius Jones, and the Aggie defense stops him for a loss. Evan Peroni and Roylin Bradley were ready for the sweep by Jones.
Yeah, Peroni, number 93, took over for Rocky Bernard, who injured his knee out for the whole year. And Peroni, actually a pretty good story. 5-year professional program in accounting. Pretty smart guy. And what was the GPA when he entered?
Yeah, 4.19. Yeah. And when he graduates after 5 years, he'll have not only a BA, but an MA, a bachelor's and a master's. 2-yard loss. Fake the handoff. Battle rolls. Nobody near him. He can run. Now he pulls it down and passes for the end zone. Hunter, touchdown!
Nice.
46-yard strike. Arnaz Battle delivers the scoring pass. And now the extra point from Nick Setta. It's up and it's good. Javon Hunter, the junior from Orchard Lake, Michigan.
I'll tell you, one thing I really like right? Because Arnaz Battle gave Hunter a chance. Now, Hunter is pretty well covered by Jay Brooks. Incidental contact there, but if you have confidence in a guy like Javen Hunter, you throw the ball off, you give him a chance, and that's just what Arnaz Battle did, a patient throw, because I thought Battle was going to run that ball, to be perfectly honest, Tom.
I did too.
But he just kind of hung in there, and said, have one-on-one coverage, a great athlete in Javen Hunter, who's 6 feet, and give him a chance.
Javen Hunter's first career touchdown, the Prep All-American from Orchard Lake, Michigan. Didn't play football until he was a freshman in high school. Javen played in 12 games last season, caught 13 passes. His first career touchdown puts the Irish ahead as they take advantage. It all started with that 70-yard punt.
Yep. And the question, hey, could Arnaz Battle be a proficient passer? I mean, he's getting good marks today, Tom. And I think Bob Davie has to be really happy with the way that Arnaz Battle has played. Calm, patient leadership, and that was a heck of a throw.
Matt McNew will kick it off as Battle accepts congratulations. Jones and Whitaker are deep for Texas A&M. McNew again sends it into the end zone. Touchback. What a valuable weapon that is, the kickoff man that can place it into the end zone.
We're going to see how Mark Ferris responds. I think until your quarterback's done it a bunch of times, you wonder, hey, is he going to be able to respond in situations like this? First time his team has trailed.
Well, we repeat that one of the reasons that Ferris got the starting job in a three-way battle with Colby Freeman and Vance Smith was his poise and maturity at age 25.
Boy, has he shown it.
There's that sweep to the opposite side again, and Whitaker upended at the line of scrimmage by Tony Driver. Big play by Driver after a gain of 7 to Whitaker.
Richard Whitaker.
Well, the Olympics just 2 weeks away now. The world's best athletes busy gearing up for Sydney. And coming up next, you'll see Olympians in action as NBC presents an Olympic doubleheader featuring both U.S. basketball squads. Lisa Leslie and the U.S. women against Olympic rival Brazil, then the U.S. men. And on-court leader Jason Kidd taking the floor against a team of the nation's top collegiate players, including Notre Dame's Troy Murphy. Olympic basketball teams in action next here on NBC.
Richard Whitaker.
Richard Whitaker carries it close to the A&M first down. Shane Walton, the tackle.
We were talking to Mark Ferris Thursday in College Station, and we talk about, hey, you're 25 years old. And, a little different. A lot of kids are here, 17, 18. He says, my life on the field and in the locker room is the same as any other football player. Just when I go home, my life is a lot different than theirs.
Spot the ball just short of the first down as he checks some other college scores. It's 3rd down and 1. Actually, less than a yard. From the eye. Ferris fumbled the snap and did not make the first down.
Boy, that's a big play. Oftentimes in short yardage and goal line situations, centers have to have what they call a reach block, and because they're reaching, the center snap comes up short sometimes. You see a lot of fumbles. Now, that was a good snap. Yeah, that was just really good penetration by the Irish defense. They ran right into his left guard. Left guard Chris Valletta just did not get any movement there.
So Cody Skates will punt.
Wow. What a good snap.
Getherall. No fair catch, and a man all over him whams him down. He didn't give him enough room to catch and field the ball. It'll be a penalty on Davis of A&M. Sammy Davis, who's been in Getherall's face all day, got there a little too soon that time.
He's amazing, isn't he, Getherall? I mean, wow. Heart of a lion?
Well, yes, but sometimes does judgment enter in there?
Maybe. Hey, listen, if you had great judgment, you would be playing special teams anyway. Right?
You're right. Here's the call. 5-yard penalty for the interference against Sammy Davis.
Well, you know, when you play against Notre Dame, Joey Getherall is not going to fair catch it, so you better get down there and cover him. But when you do, you got to give him a little bit of room.
Well, the Rat Pack that time called for the penalty. Sammy Davis was there a little early.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
All right, welcome back to Notre Dame. It is very hot. The thermometer now showing 118 degrees. And as the players come off the field, they're being ordered by the coaches and the training staff to come over here. And they're being handed these ice caps. They're also being ordered to stay underneath the umbrellas, stay next to the air conditioning, the dehydration, drink a lot of fluids. There's a lot of Gatorade, a lot of water going on down here. This is going to be a battle of attrition. Who can be left standing, Tom? And right now, it's a tie. It's pretty even. Up to you.
They'd like to get a little more fluid and a few more umbrellas, Jim, but they tell me you keep hogging them down there on the sideline. We're going to get you one of those wet hats.
I know you'd love to see that. Yeah.
First down, Notre Dame from their own 30-yard line. Handoff to Julius Jones.
Julius Jones.
Short gain. Cornelius Anthony ready for the Notre Dame run. Meanwhile, Arnaz Battle, after the slow start, he only hit 3 of his first 8 passes. Since then, he's 4 of 5 for 89 yards and 2 scores.
Well, you know, when we spoke with him yesterday, the game certainly didn't seem too big for him. I mean, he tutored under Jarius Jackson last year, and he had this opportunity of playing a little bit, and he just, you know, he seemed very calm and comfortable in the situation that he's in.
His coach Bob Davies said he won't be rattled. That's one thing about him. Takes it all in stride. Play action fake. Quick toss. Complete to Holloway, the tight end. Still on his feet and finally wrestled down short of the first down at about the 38-yard line. 7-yard gain.
Yeah, nice call there by Kevin Rogers. They've run this play twice, Tom, both times successfully. Holloway's second catch of the day and a same kind of delay pass. You fake a little draw, a little misdirection. Actually had a couple of guys open, but Jabari Holloway is a tight end, 6'3", 260 pounds, a great target, soft hands, pretty good after the catch.
3rd down and 3. Jones tripped as he made his cut. He'll be very close to the first down. Covered by Ronald Clemens. Looked like Jones lost his footing just as he made his cut with 6 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. They're going to take a long look at this one. And they will call timeout to measure.
Yeah, we talked about all the turnovers a year ago, which were really hurt Notre Dame. They've really protected the ball pretty well this game, Tom.
Bob Davie telling us that this had a chance to be his best team in his 4th year at Notre Dame. And although he is under pressure with a lot of folks howling for his scalp and a lot of predictions about his demise, he was in the best mood we'd seen him in a long time and seemingly impervious to the criticism. He said, I don't like it, but I don't let it affect me. And of course, it's easy maybe to say that when you have a contract for 2000.
Right. But I mean, I think he feels like he has his best athletes. He's finally got some guys where he's actually redshirted them. They don't call him redshirting here at Notre Dame, but he's been able to really kind of not play the younger guys and develop some depth on his team for the very first time.
And when he needs moral support, he goes to his friend R.C. Slocum. The Irish have a 12-1 record when leading after 3, and the 3rd quarter has just come to an end with an Irish first down. We'll be back to start the 4th quarter in a moment. Notre Dame leads Texas A&M 14-10. Back to Notre Dame Stadium after these words from your local station. A Notre Dame tradition. The students saluting at the end of the 3rd quarter to the playing of Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. And we start the 4th quarter with Notre Dame leading Texas A&M 14-10. Coach Bob Davie during the quarter break telling his players this is what conditioning is about. This is what the preseason 2-a-days are about. Don't let your fatigue cause you to make mental mistakes. Jim Gray listening in as Bob Davie told his players that at the quarter break. And now we start the 4th with a first down across the 40-yard line. Here's a delayed handoff. And a nice run up the middle made by Julius Jones. Jones flashing some of that brilliance we saw last year in his freshman campaign. He rambles for 14 yards and a Notre Dame first down.
You know, ever since Notre Dame took that lead with a touchdown pass to Hunter from Arnaz Battle, they've been a different kind of team. They seem refreshed. They seem renewed. They took the first lead, really got them feeling good about themselves. They put their best drives together with a touchdown drive and this drive here.
We're into Aggie territory now. The ball spotted just short of the A&M 45-yard line. Julius Jones hanging on to the football, which was somewhat of a problem in his freshman campaign. He's at the tailback spot as Battle sends Gibbons in motion. Jones bouncing off a tackler at the line of scrimmage, but determined work by Edwards. Ron Edwards, the senior from Houston, hit him, and then Jones bounced off, but Edwards wouldn't give up and managed to get the tackle. Big win for the Michigan Wolverines today as you check the other scores throughout this Labor Day weekend of college football.
I love opening day. You know, grass is greener, hot dogs taste better. You should know you had a few of them there at halftime.
And everybody's unbeaten, though. That's the best part.
Yeah, all day everybody's, you think you're going to win a national championship, it's great.
2nd and 9 for Battle. Play action fake, he's in trouble. Sacked by Cornelius Anthony.
Boy, Cornelius Anthony ran right over, I don't know if it was actually Lipinski or Gandy, but he ran over one blocker from Notre Dame. It was a big guy. You can see down here in the corner. Yeah, Lipinski runs right around the corner of him, and Arnaz Battle has absolutely no chance. Now you got to have your fullback be able to slide outside and pick up that linebacker, otherwise your quarterback's going to get killed.
10-yard loss. It makes it 3rd and 19.
And Arnaz has to be careful here. Know the situation of the game. Nothing late down the middle.
Across the middle, and the catch made for the first down. Gibbons with a diving effort goes up top and hauls it in.
Well,
David Gibbons, the coaches were praising his camp, and he paid off there, didn't he?
Yeah, the Irish are expecting big things of David Gibbons, number 6, this year. Because he's got real good size. He's 6'3", almost 220 pounds, big target. You know, extends the strike zone for a quarterback. You can throw it a little bit high, which it is, over guys, and Gibbons has the ability to go up and pull it down.
Found a little spot in the field for 23 yards and a huge play. Nothing there for Jones. Hit as he got the handoff and stopped for a loss. Wes Bodovich, the former walk-on at free safety, got a piece of the tackle, number 30.
Yeah, how about Wes Bodovich? He was supposed to come here and just hold, but Michael Jamison was hurt, so Bodovich is now playing free safety. Not only walk-on, he walked on as a quarterback 2 years ago. He really hasn't played defense since he played in high school.
Meanwhile, Jamison, who's had the injured Achilles, started the game and has played most of the game on the sideline now. He was telling Bodovich all week, just settle down, just settle down. Here's the option. Battle. Pitches. Jones can't quite turn the corner, but does get inside the A&M 30-yard line. Forced out of bounds by Jason Glenn, who was able to string the play out.
Let's go.
Let's check in again with a steamy Jim Gray.
It is warm down here, and the word now from the Notre Dame locker room is Grant Irons is done for the day. He has a severe temperature. He is suffering from heat illness. That is the actual clinical term. He will not return today. This is nothing that's very serious. He just needs to be inside, out of the sun for a couple of hours, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Tom?
All right, well, the Texan had a big game before he had to leave the field, and we hope he'll be all right. Here's Battle. Wide open. Hunter stepped out of bounds, but
short. He'll be short of the first.
Will be short of the first down. A critical mistake there by Hunter. Made the catch with no one around him and then went right out of bounds.
Yeah, either that or the quarterback has to get the ball to him a little bit quicker. You know, yeah, he's out short of first down, and Bob Davie now has a decision to make. Kick the field goal, try to draw him off sides with a long cadence, or actually go for it. It looks like he's not going to kick the field goal.
It would be about a 40-yard field goal, so on 4th and 1, he's going to go for it. Battle into the huddle after getting the play from the sideline.
Yeah, or try to draw him off sides. Right. I haven't seen that work in about 4 years.
It never works.
Yeah.
They've got the full house backfield. And now with the play clock ticking down, they will call a timeout. Actually, A&M calls the timeout.
Well, Notre Dame was about to, but A&M did.
So Slocum calls time with a big 4th down play when we return to Notre Dame. The Aggie band trying to rally the troops on a 4th down and a yard to go at the Texas A&M 23-yard line, with the Irish leading 14-10.
A&M defensive linemen, all they're thinking about is penetration and let a linebacker make a tackle.
Full house backfield for Notre Dame. And the handoff and a 1st down to the 20 and inside on Givens. Givens, the wide receiver, lining up at a halfback in the full house backfield and totes the ball for a 1st down. The most unlikely ball carrier in a power situation.
Yeah, you know, he caught the long pass just a moment ago. Good pull there by Jim Jones, number 55, kind of wraps up his guy. Good lead block there. But David Givens does a lot of different things for this Irish team. He can play special teams. He can run the football as he did here. Makes the catches. And the coaches are really expecting him to have an explosive year.
Tony Fisher getting a block as well. 1st down Irish. Julius Jones cuts back. He's to the 5. Jones keeps his balance. Touchdown.
Terrific drive by the Irish. As you mentioned, Tom, Bob Davies said don't let the heat and exhaustion, you know, make you think of having any mental errors. There were no mental errors on that drive. Offensive line did a great job on 4th down. Good play calling. And Arnaz Battle and his running backs did the rest.
And a brilliant run by Jones for the touchdown as the extra point by Seta through the uprights. And the Irish have extended their lead with a 69-yard drive that took 12 plays, including a big 4th down conversion.
Good block there by Jeff Fain, the center. Teasdale, they're number 76. And they don't look tired. They look even fresher. Now, Julius Jones should have gone down about the 3-yard line. Those last 3 yards were a sensational part of the run. Big hole through here. Great offensive line blocking. But it should have been a 1st and goal on the 3, but for the effort of Jones. Jeff Fain, Gandy, Jones, Black, Teasdale, all doing a good job up front.
And Julius Jones takes care of the rest. The Irish convert on 4th and 1 and then take it into the end zone. Julius Jones and Bob Davie celebrates the Irish touchdown, which puts them up by 11.
And they've shown power and they've shown explosiveness thus far today.
12 plays, 69 yards, 4:44 on the clock. Jones from 17 caps the touchdown drive. Sun-drenched crowd of over 80,000. Jones now has carried 14 times for 60 yards as McNew is set to boot it downfield. And again, he puts it into the end zone. No return. McNew feels his oats again. He booms it into the end zone for no return.
Well, we've seen Mark Ferris play well when his team's ahead. His team trails 21-10, and they're going to have to get some big plays out of the passing game. Maybe some draws and some screens mixed in, but it needs you know, some catches and some runs. He's got real capable catch and run guys in Chris Taylor, Robert Ferguson, and Bethel Johnson.
And the former baseball player used the baseball analogy talking to us. When you go 0 for 4, you still got to go up there swinging.
Yep.
And they trail 21-10 with 11 and a half minutes remaining. Their last 2 drives have been 3 and out. Ferris, first down pass. Complete for a short gain to Taylor, who's twisted out of bounds by Brock Williams.
The tackling of the Irish defense has gotten better as this game has gone along. Early in the ball game, they just did not seem to be wrapping up A&M ball carriers and receivers, but now they are.
Gain of 3.
Brock Williams, wearing number 1. 2 years ago, he wore number 38. Sat out all last year under suspension, and he said, "New start, new number."
And thanks, Dad, who paid a $2,200 parking ticket tag.
That's one of the reasons he was suspended.
He said he used that suspension year, though, with a chance to rededicate himself, improve his play and his mental attitude. Mix up on the handoff. Goins nowhere to go. They finally ran that reverse that had been faked all day, and they wish they hadn't.
You're right. This Anthony Weaver stayed home. That's a disciplined play, and that's good coaching by Greg Madison, the coordinator. Shane Walton there, number 42. All day long, this was setting up, and you think this is going to be a big play when you finally run it. But Anthony Weaver stayed right at home.
Now, real dilemma here, 3rd and 14, and you don't want to make a play that turns the ball over.
Yeah, I think you got to be thinking about getting the ball to Robert Ferguson, number 6, because he's so good after a catch.
5 receivers in the formation. Ferris, plenty of time now, chased from the pocket. On the run, dumps it complete and dropped by Weber, but he wasn't going to get much anyway.
No. See Brock Williams cramping up now, too, for the Irish. Yeah, this is no way this is going to get a first down. He's just trying to add some yards onto the punt. But with Notre Dame defense has come alive, and certainly their offense after the touchdown pass from Battle to Javen Hunter.
Cody skates. Sends it toward Getherall. Fair catch.
Oh, my goodness.
Stop the presses.
What? That's Joey. Maybe because he's leading 21-10.
Also, he might be a little tired down there in the heat.
This is something I have not seen rare footage. Look at that. He didn't do it with a lot of enthusiasm,
no, he
did
didn't. Irish will have the ball when we come back. They lead the opener against A&M 21-10. Throughout the last decade, new Irish quarterbacks have had success in season openers. 1990, Rick Meyer against the 4th-ranked Michigan Wolverines. In '93, Kevin McDougal guided his team to victory over Northwestern. Then the following year, it was Ron Paulus at the helm over the Wildcats. And in 1998, Jarius Jackson led his team over 5th-ranked Michigan. And now, junior Arnez Battle from Shreveport, Louisiana, in his first start as the Notre Dame quarterback, has a 21-10 lead with 10 minutes, 27 seconds remaining, and a first down at his own 42-yard line.
He really hasn't even come close to throwing an interception. I mean, he has really been on the mark.
And the ball to Howard. Across the 45, stopped by Terrence Keel.
Tom, the A&M defense really needs a turnover. Now, in the past, they've been great at stripping the ball, particularly guys like Jason Glenn and Jay Brooks. That's Brock Williams.
You mentioned you thought he was cramping up, and he's being tended to on the sideline. The temperature close to 120 on the field, and add 15 degrees because of all that equipment, which doesn't allow your skin to breathe, the sweat to evaporate.
What does that in centigrade, do you know?
Yes, I'll tell you in a moment. As soon as I get down to Sydney, I convert that for you.
There you go. I knew you would.
Howard with a determined run. Brian Gamble.
Late flag.
Late flags. Very late flags.
And that may well be on A&M, and that's could be one of those really stupid ones that shouldn't have happened, particularly when your team trailing 21-10.
Some frustration starting to take hold in the heat, perhaps.
Well, R.C. Slocum had a remarkable career. 12 years, you mentioned. Averaged 9 wins a season while he's been at A&M. It's phenomenal.
Said he's most proud of the fact that A&M has a reputation now of being good to the student
Dead
athlete.
ball. Personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's one of those stupid ones that cost you ball games. You're losing 21-10. You just make a pretty good stop on defense. Late hit. You give the team first down, field position, and more time to use up the clock.
So spot the ball at the A&M 34-yard line. First down for Notre Dame. Already Bob Davie and the Irish lead 21-10 at the 9.5-minute mark, fourth quarter. From the eye, Jones, no, Howard it is, and Howard, a couple of tough yards. Ron Edwards in the center of the defense for the Aggies.
We were talking to R.C. Slocum this week, and it's amazing the pervasiveness of the internet. People are selling, not game plans, playbooks on the internet. There's a website out there where you can find a lot of college playbooks, including Texas A&M's and Auburn's and Arkansas's. Notre Dame's was on there. I guess you'd be embarrassed if you weren't on there, right?
That's right. The solution to that apparently now is going to be that you have to copyright your playbooks.
Yep. They're only going for $9.95. The offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators are upset about that.
Did you get one?
No, I didn't.
Notre Dame calls a timeout. Battle reaches up and sees the play clock ticking down, calls timeout.
That was a good use of a timeout there.
Battle will come to the sideline. Well, this is a battle between two old friends, R.C. Slocum and Bob Davie. They knew one of them would be disappointed. Davie said, in fact, had it been up to him, he never would have scheduled his old friend. But here they are, and they talk once a week anyway, and they've avoided the subject of football for the past few conversations because they were going to play each other. But R.C. Slocum says that he knows that Bob Davie is not going to feel the pressure. And Bob Davie, in turn, says from R.C. Slocum, he learned how to be steady in the boat, to not let your ego get involved. And R.C. says that coaches, if you're a real coach like Bob Davie is, and like I think I am, you enjoy coaching, not the things that come from coaching. And you know that even if this doesn't work out, if you want to, you can still coach. The Aggies of A&M, who came up for the first time to Notre Dame Stadium. Mark Ferris trying to cool off as the Irish have exploded here in the second half to take a 21-10 lead as Arnaz Battle finally got his offense, specifically his passing game, on track. Now they're 2nd and 9 at the Aggie 34. Play action fake, Battle trapped, got away to the 30. 25, first down. Arnaz Battle with a scramble, run out of bounds by Wes Barnavich.
I know Jarius Jackson is playing for the Denver Broncos now, but he looks a lot like Jarius Jackson on runs like that. This was, one of those impromptu plays. I just kind of felt some real quick pressure by Ron Edwards, the nose tackle. And some guys just have a feel for it, and it looks like Arnaz Battle has, that gift of being able to make a pretty good play out of almost nothing.
Jarius, who called Arnaz on Thursday, will be in St. Louis to face the Rams with the Broncos this week and be proud of that 11-yard run by his former backup. First down, Notre Dame. Tailback, Howard. Thrown back by the A&M wrecking crew defense. Ron Edwards from the nose tackle spot leading the charge.
I think what A&M defense really has to do is really start trying to strip the ball carrier. They haven't seen much of that. You get one guy to slow him down. You get your next guy, get your big paw in there, big hand in there, and try to pry the ball loose.
Well, with 8-12 and counting, the Irish looking for a score to try to put this one away. A loss of 2 on that one, though, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, and A&M just wants to keep it to a field goal to make it a 14-point game, right?
From the shotgun, Battle tries to run, and A&M's ready for it. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Jason Glenn and Evan Peroni.
This is a really important down. Again, your quarterback, Arnaz Battle, learns, he's passed all the tests thus far, but managing the game. No interceptions, no turnovers, don't take a sack right here. You're in field goal range. You're up by 11 points. If you kick a field goal, it takes 2 touchdowns to tie you. And you have to be thinking about those things when you're going through moments like this.
3rd and 12, and Notre Dame has only converted 2 of 9 now on 3rd down. Battle got a block. Hurdling players will be short of the first down. Harold Robertson knocked him out of bounds.
They should kick it. They will.
So the field goal attempt will be from Nick Setta, who just a couple of days ago won a prolonged place-kicking battle.
Nick Setta.
It'll be about a 32-yard field goal. Adam Tibble is the holder. Seta from 32 yards. High snap. Tibble got it down. Seta sends it on its way and got it. Well, a little adversity with a high snap.
Boy, good hold and good kick. I mean, he kind of started twice. He double clutched. So give Tibble some credit, the holder there.
Tibble indeed did the job to get the ball down, and Seta put it through to increase the lead to 14, 24-10.
You know, so far Notre Dame this year, this opening game, has done a lot of things well that they did poorly last year, including in the kicking game. You know, they've rushed the passer better. They've gone some big plays in the passing game. They haven't turned the ball over. So all the things that led to a 5-7 season a year ago, in the early going of this 2000 season for the Irish, they've kind of turned those things around.
And of course, it would be a big lift if the Irish can hold on to win, because next week the top-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers come to town. First time they will have played since the 1973 Orange Bowl. Quarterback Eric Crouch poses a double threat to the Irish. He rushed for almost 900 yards last year, the most by a Husker quarterback since 1955. Nebraska winless in 4 visits to South Bend. We'll see what the top-ranked Huskers do next week. Nebraska and Notre Dame. And Notre Dame, the second winningest school of all time. Nebraska is third.
That 73 Orange Bowl game, 40-6, Ara Parseghian's worst loss. But you know what? This Notre Dame team is better than I think most people thought. And it's not an automatic win next week for the Cornhuskers.
Mickey Jones, Richard Whitaker, the deep men for the kick by Matt McNew. This one will not reach the end zone. Returned by Whitaker from about the 2. Hit hard and dropped at the 15-yard line. Good Irish coverage on the kickoff.
Glenn Earl, number 19 again. Again, one of those, he may well be a walk-on, number 19, Glenn Earl. He was the one that blocked that punt, you know, earlier in the game. Well, I'll tell you, you talk about, there's something unnatural about playing special teams. I mean, you're running down there full speed into another guy going full speed. But I mean, he kind of got the coverage started, didn't he?
And then Dwayne Francis finished him off. A&M now has gone 3 straight possessions, 3 and out. With the clock down to 7:07, they need to get something going. Ferris from the gun. Plenty of time. Pass incomplete, a little high for Bethel Johnson.
Pass intended for Bethel Johnson. Incomplete, second down.
1 timeout, 7 minutes remaining. Down by 14 points.
Nebraska 49-13 over San Jose State, readying for their trip to South Bend.
Was that a final? I didn't see that.
I think it was.
Yeah. I think they were favored by 49 points.
Mark Ferris has hit 13 of 22 today. Over 100 yards passing. He needs some big plays now. Pressure and a sack. Boyman and Scott converging on Mark Ferris.
Well, this is a different Irish defensive team. Scott and Boyman, number 90. Here's Boyman. Here's Scott up in here, 93. Again, that's a bull rush from one guy, Scott, and a power rush, quick rush by Rocky Boyman.
Second sack today for the Irish defense. Wow.
3rd and what, 19?
3rd and 19 for the Aggies. Deep in their own territory, the ball at the 9-yard line. Ferris drills it across the middle. It's caught by Taylor. Chris Taylor holds on. He'll be close to the first down. Looks like he has it to the 30-yard line. Hit hard by Tony Driver, but Taylor manages to hold on after the strike from Ferris.
I'll tell you, it really was a strike, even though he was a third baseman, as you said. And then give Chris Taylor some credit. He took it, and then he just took a shot. He had to go off the field, but 3rd and 19, disciplined in the pocket was Mark Ferris, and then he just drilled the ball to his receiver Taylor.
Taylor's hurt, but courageous to hold on to that ball. Swing pass to Whitaker. Whitaker almost broke it. Close to the first down at the 40. Denman just got a piece of it.
Yeah, and I think Mark Ferris has to get in and out of the huddle, or he has to call these plays in the line. I think he's got 1 timeout remaining, down by 14. You can't spend too much time. They're not huddling. That's good.
Just short of the first down. It'll be second and less than a yard. Handoff, Whitaker. Dancing, cutting up, first down, A&M. 3-yard gain for Richard Whitaker. He's been Mr. Everything for the Aggie offense today.
Now they'll stop the clock to move the chains, and Mark Ferris has to have his play called and ready to go as soon as they start that clock. Time is not on his side. 5:19 remaining in the ball game.
And down 14. Does he look up top here shortly?
The defense is a prevent defense. It's tough to get the ball deep. It's going to be a run after a catch.
He drilled it to Ferguson between defenders, and Ferguson to the sideline. One man to beat. He cuts back and is tripped up by Sapp. The Texans saved a touchdown, but it went for 35 yards to Robert Ferguson, who has lived up to advanced billing today.
Absolutely, and just what we said, prevent defense, you can't, throw the ball deep, but you hope guys like Ferguson can do something with it after the catch. Indeed, he did there. So 5 minutes left in the ball game, still trailing by 14.
Ferguson has 5 catches for 80 yards today. From the 23, first down Aggies. And timeout is called. Notre Dame defense calling a timeout with 4 minutes and 54 seconds remaining, and the Irish trying to preserve a 14-point advantage. Today's Chevrolet players of the game: Mark Ferris from Texas A&M, Arnez Battle from Notre Dame. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. The Chevrolet Scholarship Program has been a tradition for 30 years.
I see 44, Grant Irons, back on the field. Now, he was the guy that went into the locker room, and they thought he was not going to play.
With heat illness.
Yeah.
Apparently has cooled off and is back on the field on this crucial first down play from the 23. Jim Gray?
Well, Tom, they stabilized his temperature, got it back down to normal, and the doctors have cleared him to play. Asked him if he wanted to go back out, put his uniform back out here on the field.
Yeah, a game like this, Jim, you play when you can. You need him.
First down Aggies, 23 of Notre Dame. Texas A&M down 14 points. Mark Ferris for the end zone. Wide open. Got it. No, dropped it. Mickey Jones had it, and when he hit the ground, the ball came free.
Of all the throws that Mark Ferris made today, all the good throws, that's the one he's going to remember. He had a touchdown throw, a receiver wide open for a touch. A little bit more air, and the receiver can go under that. And then his team is only down by 7. So, it's that close. And Mark Ferris knows he had a freebie. He let it get away.
Second and 10.
Here comes a blitz, looks like.
Draw play that worked in the first half does not work here. Tony Driver was ready for Whitaker on the draw play. That's the play he scored on in the first half.
Yeah, it has to be an audible. Every time Ferris sees that blitz, he calls the draw inside. And if he pops through Driver, he may score again.
Third and 10.
Now third down and 10 from the 23.
The quarterback, you have 2 downs to get these 10 yards. You know that.
Ferris, across the middle, intercepted. Intercepted by Tony Driver. And Driver back on defense after playing running back for a couple of years. Makes the big interception and returns it 18 yards.
Tom, 2 years ago against Purdue, when Purdue had a chance to win the ball game, it was Tony Driver that intercepted Drew Brees twice late in that ball game to secure a win. He does it again in his senior season. He made some real good stops down by the goal line in that goal line stand a while back too. And that's just, a good read. He's well coached. I mean, he saw that all the way.
First period score, Alabama and UCLA tied at 7.
So the Irish take over after the third career pickoff. Mark Ferris with his first interception. Handoff to Fisher. Couple of yards. Stopped by Sammy Davis.
Well, Tom, Bob Davies said this is a huge game for the Irish. He meant that in a variety of ways. Hey, I'm on the hot seat. I'm playing against a quality opponent in A&M. R.C. Sloko's my best football friend. He said, you know, he knows the kind of schedule he has in front of him. If the Irish can hang on, this is a tremendous win for Bob Davie.
He says those first 5 games everybody's talking about, they are what they are. So but it's the last 6 games that are going to be important to us.
Well, they didn't play well in their last 4 a year ago. He's very cognizant of that fact.
They made a big lift, though, as they get ready for the top-ranked Cornhuskers if they can knock off the Aggies today, who came in ranked as high as 23rd and 25th in one poll. And so Nebraska, Purdue, Michigan State, then Stanford. And then it eases up a bit with Navy. Although you couldn't judge it by last year's game, could you?
Well, the academies always seem to play Notre Dame tough. And at West Virginia is a tough place to win. USC at the end of the year.
And USC, the way they played against Penn State, appear to be quite formidable.
Well, you know, I think this Notre Dame team has a chance offensively to be much more explosive than they were a year ago.
3rd and 6. Fisher. And that'll bring up a 4th down. But the clock is the important factor now. It's down to 2:37. And timeout is taken. 2:37 remaining, 24-10. Irish back after these words from your local station. A&M out of timeouts now. They're going to come after Hillbold. You said, Pat?
Well, I would think so. I think you'd have to.
About have to.
Yeah.
And that'll be a roughing call. Flag flies. And Notre Dame is going to get the ball back.
You just can't know, and Sammy Davis knows that it was on him, and you just can't practice that kind of play. Full speed. The punt block, really, you know, Tom, you can't be shoulder to shoulder to the punter when you're trying to block it. You have to be out in front of him. It's just hard to simulate in practice off the right corner.
He goes to where Hillbold was when he started the motion instead of where he was going to wind up.
Just a poor angle. You know, he may have gotten there had he chose a little tighter angle around the corner this way. So he's got to come in right here now.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker.
Yeah, he may have gotten there.
15-yard penalty from previous spot. Automatic first down.
One thing about Sammy Davis, he came to play aggressively, did he not?
Yeah, absolutely.
All game long.
Absolutely. Well, no timeouts for A&M, so Notre Dame, unless they turn this thing over, is going to go 1-0, and this is a really good opening win for a coach under fire. At least from the outside, he seemed very calm about his position.
With that tough 5-game stretch to open the season, like you said, a huge uplifting victory for the Irish.
The Irish are going to be better than people think, and Nebraska will be tough. It's not a gimme for Nebraska, but you know, Purdue's got to come in here. You know, so Drew Brees, the Heisman Trophy candidate, it'll be that'll be an interesting game, different than this one. He's going to be throwing the ball every down.
2nd and 6, and what a sweet victory this will be for Grant Irons, because he's a Texan from the Woodlands, Texas, had to leave the game with heat exhaustion earlier, has returned to the game. He enjoyed his visit to A&M when he was being recruited, very impressed, but he wanted to go somewhere different since most of his friends went to A&M. Madison and Glenn, a couple of members of the A&M team, are his good friends. Madison was a teammate at the Woodlands High School. From a football-playing family, the three boys of this family took on all comers in the neighborhood at football and basketball and whatever else you want to play.
Bet you they won.
And he said it was the history and tradition of Notre Dame that attracted him to South Bend. And I would think that website is going to get some hits today.
Yeah, he's got his own little website and kind of changes it every week. He is a MIS major, so he should be doing that, right?
Gibbons getting some duty at running back again. Had a key carry on 4th down, did Gibbons.
Yeah. Remember the catch, too, of that drive, too.
Right. And the Irish just short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and less than a yard, but only 40 seconds and ticking. And don't forget, basketball coming your way next. We'll see both the U.S. Olympic women's team against Brazil, a team they'll face in Sydney, likely. And the U.S. men against that team of college all-stars, including Troy Murphy of Notre Dame. The men's team, the women's team, the Olympic basketball teams in action next on NBC as battle keeps, and symbolically perhaps, dives for a first down. Bob Davie remains unbeaten in opening games. And Arnaz Battle continues the string of Irish quarterbacks making their first starts with a victorious game. And the two friends, R.C. Slocum and Bob Davie, there won't be any gloating. Neither man, but Bob Davie perhaps needed it worse than R.C. Slocum did. The Aggies return home to face Wyoming next week. But R.C. will not begrudge the victory to his friend, Bob Davie, who has felt the criticism. R.C. walks to midfield where he'll meet Bob Davie, the two old friends who coached together, first under Jackie Sherrill at Texas A&M, and then as Slocum, the head coach, and Davie, the offensive coordinator. Davie trying to make his way through the tangle and knot of players right to R.C.'s side. There's the embrace. And the friendship continues full force. You can bet they'll be on the phone the next week with discussions, probably not of this game, but of family and things going on in their lives. Let's go to Jim Gray with the winning coach, Bob Davie.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Bob, congratulations. It can't be easy for you. This is your best friend, however, isn't it?
Well, he's a great friend. But I think we both knew coming into this game that this was obviously a pivotal game for both of us. You know, we've both been in this profession a long time. We both plan on being in this profession for a long time. We knew one of us had to win and one of us had to lose. And that's just what this profession is. I mean, it's all part of it, Jim.
Tied at 7 at halftime. You were concerned about the heat. You were concerned about the defensive schemes they were giving you. What changed the tide here in the second half?
Well, first of all, I really wasn't concerned about the heat. We talked to our team all week about we're the ones that control everything out here. The heat has nothing to do with it. The crowd has nothing to do with it. A&M really has nothing to do with it. I just thought we gained a little bit of confidence there at the end of the first half.
Touchdown?
Yeah, offensively, Arnaz got in sync a little bit. Defensively, I'm not sure we played all that good today. We gave them some things. But you love the fact you competed in the first game. We knew this was going to be a gut check. That's a pretty good foundation to start on, is having that kind of courage to come out here and play in this heat. So let's go get ready for the Cornhuskers.
You talk about a gut check. Well, that will really be one with the #1 team coming in here next week. What about Nebraska?
Well, they're a great football team. I'd be less than honest if I didn't say we had a chance to watch them a lot over the summer. They're a great team. It's a great opportunity for us. So I like our football team, Jim. I like our football team.
Bob, congratulations. We look forward to next week.
I appreciate it, Jim.
Upstairs to you, Tom.
All right, Jim, so the Irish celebrating a big 24-10 victory over the 25th ranked Aggies of Texas A&M. Important win not only for the Irish, but for their head coach, Bob Davie, as they prepare to meet the top-ranked team in the land, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who come in next week. The embrace from the friends, Bob Davie and R.C. Slocum. Once again, the final score from Notre Dame Stadium. Notre Dame 24, Texas A&M 10. So for Pat Hayden and Jim Gray, Tom Hammond, now sending you directly to Hannah Storm in our New York studio. She's standing by with the Sun America post-game report. So long, everybody.